from Roy Kidd Stadium in Richmond on yet another hot, dry September evening in the Bluegrass State. Eastern Kentucky University hosts Tennessee State University. The Tigers are 1-3 on the season. The Curdles are 2-2. Tonight is the start of Ohio Valley Conference play. A new season, a new start for both teams. I'm Greg Stottlemyre. I'll have the play-by-play.
I'm Jim Tyree. I'll analyze for Greg. It's a contrast in strengths tonight. The Tigers have the best receiving duo in the OVC, potentially really in the country, and Chris Rowland and Stephen Newbold. But the Tigers defense giving up a lot of points, nearly 38 a game. Meanwhile, the EKU offense has struggled to move the ball consistently, but the defense has held its three FCS opponents to 12 points a game. So whose strength will prevail tonight? Will it be Big Blue or the Colonels?
Mother Nature is the only undefeated team left in the OVC right now, and it is delivering us another dry and another incredibly hot last Saturday here in September. 91 degrees, gentlemen, at kickoff at 6 o'clock. I'm Wes Chandler. I will monitor the sidelines as well as all the other games going on across the Ohio Valley Conference.
And if anybody could figure out how to stop the drought, you'd make a lot of money right now, because it has been a dry August and September as we get ready for EKU versus TSU. Starting lineups and then the coin toss and kickoff when we come back to Roy Kidd Stadium. This is Colonel football from Learfield IMG College. Let's meet the Powerade starting lineups. Powerade, the official sports drink of EKU Athletics. Up front, a big physical offensive line for TSU at left tackle, Will James, 6'4", 305 junior. Left guard, three-year starter co-captain, LaChavia Simmons. He is a 6'5", 315 graduate student from Selma, Alabama. A 3.5-year starter at center, making his 35th start tonight, Thomas Burton, 6'2", 305 graduate student, Memphis Whitehaven. At right guard, 2-year starter, Raekwon Allen, getting looks from the NFL, 6'3", or 325 senior, Columbus, Georgia. And Cam Durley, 6'6", 315 redshirt junior from Houston. A transfer from Kansas is EKU, led by the Flags, and Curdles scripted out, leading the EKU team out on the field. A couple of players carrying each an American flag and a Kentucky flag, yet to see the Big Blue onto the field. They'll be led at quarterback by Cameron Rosendahl, 6'2", 220 redshirt senior at Ackworth, Georgia. He's been very good, only 2 interceptions in the 3 games he has started. Did not play as a starter in the Jackson State game due to a leg injury suffered in the Middle Tennessee game. He has Kendrick Roberson at running back at 308 yards. And the receivers, we've already talked about Stephen Newbold and Chris Rowland, tops in the country. Phillip Brown is their tight end, a transfer from Alabama State. Let's find out now about tonight's coin toss. Here's Wes Chandler.
Captains for EKU tonight are Stephen Crowder, Daryl McCleskey, Andrew Juck, and Aaron Patrick, as referee David Seawer does the honors of flipping the coin. And Tennessee State. There you go. We have it right there. Tennessee State has won and will elect to defer to half number 2.
Tonight's coin toss brought to you by UK Healthcare's Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine program, ranked among the top 50 of the nation by U.S. News and World Report. UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, the official team physicians for EKU Athletics. As we told you, the TSU lineup will switch it over to EKU, and across that offensive line from left to right, we do not expect any changes. Eric Magwood at left tackle, the ODU transfer. Tucker Schrader with a 16th start in a row for Schroeder at left guard. Center, Jackson Bardall, 15th start in a row. Chris Anthony will be at right guard. Graham Ashkettle at right tackle, but they will have substitutes throughout the game. Getting what will be his 3rd start in his 7th game, Parker McKinney took the job away from Connor Blount with his performance last week against Presbyterian College. 14 of 20, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns, had an 11-yard TD run as well. He'll throw to a bevy of receivers. We'll see who starts tonight. Matt Wilcox stays out with an ankle injury. Carter, Gross, Dixon, Bierman, Cabrera, and Ross all expected to play. Starting running back is Darryl McCleskey Jr. He had a great game against the Blue Hose of Presbyterian. Ripped off a 63-yard run, 15th in the country at 97 yards a game. We'll also see Alonzo Booth and Jason Lewis at running back, and the tight ends, Valiga, Sanchez, and Brads will all play. So we've got it set here. Let's go back to Wes.
And guys, let me correct something on the coin toss. It will be Eastern Kentucky receiving the ball to begin this ball game. Tonight's coin toss is brought to you by UK Healthcare's Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Program. Ranked among the top 50 in the nation by U.S. News and World Report, UK Healthcare, Orthopedic Surgery, and Sports Medicine, the official team physicians for EKU.
So Tennessee State will receive, and the dangerous Rowland will come near side. Chris Rowland, his older brother Seth, is a running back. Chris had a 96-yard return against Jackson State, and the other superstar receiver on the far side in number 1, Stephen Newbold. So if you're in the stadium tonight or watching, 3 and 1 are the go-to guys. They make 70% of the receptions for TSU. 31st meeting, Eastern Kentucky in the gray uniforms with maroon trim, maroon helmets against TSU in the blue bottoms and white tops with blue trim. It's Newbold pinned against the sideline at the 6, bringing it laterally and then cutting it back and getting dangerously through a hole, and then it's shut down at the 18. He ran a lot of east and west before he finally went north and south at Eastern Kentucky. Will pin him back to start this game at the 18-yard line.
Looked like Dixon broke the wedge enough to get down and make the tackle. One of the guys with speed up front, getting through that initial wedge and able to drive the man back after catching him from the ankles.
The good news is for Eastern Kentucky, Leonard Humphrey, who had only 3 snaps last week at his first play of the year after the foot injury preseason starting, but his foot came up hurting after those 3 snaps, but he's in there to start. They're going to pass on first down and throw it high and off the hands of the intended receiver far side on the incompletion by Cameron Rosendahl, who played a pair of years at Georgia Military College.
Looked like Corey Glass came over to range over from the linebacker position to give a little bit of help on that sideline. They wanted to try and bleed that out to the sideline over on the TSU side.
They tried to throw it out on the left flat to Kendrick Roberson, I should say, the running back. Going to be on the ground, and EKU stuffs it for a loss of 1, led by Corey Glass, who's been on both plays. Corey Glass with tackle for a loss, 8.5 now in his career, 2.5 this year. And the Tigers in 3rd and long, 3rd and 11 to open the game. They are 43.5% on 3rd down conversions, 35th best in the country. EKU not very good in defending the 3rd down at 41% this year.
They've been in a lot of 3rd and shorts, though, Greg. They convert those a lot easier.
Trips to the near side. Abdul Haq in motion, back to pass Rosenthal. And Rosenthal overthrows the intended receiver, late hit and a free first down. Mistake by Sales of Eastern Kentucky. Hit him late after didn't put the brakes on, and that should give TSU a free first down.
Little out pattern from the slot position for Rowland.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness defense, number 43. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That one I can excuse just a little bit, Greg. He's focused on the player, thinking that the catch is going to be made, but the timing is just bad. You've got to have your timing a little bit more shored up than that. As he goes in to make the play, the ball has already been whistled down the field, incomplete.
So Joseph Sales out of Alpharetta, Georgia, with his first penalty of the year. EKU averages over 60 yards a game. TSU 73 yards. They're going to pass. Looking down the middle, man wide open, caught at midfield. No Colonels around him. Newbold breaks the tackle, and they finally drag him down, Bascom down near side at the 23-yard line, and that's the big hitter, going for a total of 45 yards.
Newbold able to make the little in move from the slot position right side, made an in move to the middle of the field, then immediately changed direction, went to the sideline. He's wide open. Nobody trailed him.
Longest of the year, old long 40, not his career long, 71 last year, up the middle to the running back on first down. And the Tigers get it about 6 yards downfield as they get into the red zone to the Colonel 17, where Aaron Patrick, preseason All-America, on one first team and two second teams preseason as the carry went to DeMarco Corbin, the backup running back. So Sales keeps the drive alive with a late hit personal foul as the Tigers were going to go 3 and out on 2 incompletions and a loss of 1 on a run. And instead they get a new chance at a 45-yard catch by an uncovered Newbold. And for the first time this year, off injury, Andrew Knox, good fullback in. He leads the blocking. Roberson finds a hole and slams his way down to the 11 for a first down, but will it come back? A yellow on the field from, and it's offsides EKU, so it'll stand, and it will be 1st and 10. TSU, Malik Mays made the tackle. Bad start for EKU. Penalties hurting. And then the one big play, and that's what the Big Blue do. They hit the big play on you with Rosendahl at quarterback, Newbold 10th in the country in yards receiving, and leading the country, Chris Rowland.
How many times have we seen these matchups between TSU and EKU turn into just a heavyweight bout where it's big play after big play? It's a historical contest.
Evans offside. This is going to be a loss on the handoff. Tried to draw the Colonels to the receivers. There was nothing there for Roberson, and Jim EKU was in with Aaron Patrick for a tackle for a loss. He's had 33. It is EKU career of 5 years, won a redshirt year.
Patrick fought off the block, first one to meet the running back in the backfield, and then Crowder came in to help him out as well. Those guys get off blocks better than anybody else on that EKU defense.
Donald out Floyd in, defensive front EKU lost pretty big on the play of 4. No score, 3 minutes in. Tigers trips left, operating 2nd and 14 from the 16 to Roberson. Got the yardage lost on the first play, +1, and it'll be 3rd down and 9 at the Colonel 11. Just underway, first possession resuscitated by the personal foul on Sales.
Tennessee State wanted to go trips left. They did, hoping that the defense would be drawn to that side of the field. Then they could run in the middle between the hashes. Colonel defense didn't fall for it. Watch for the fade here, Greg.
Tackle by Evans. Their 2 most dangerous receivers that make 70% of their catches. Newbold in the slot. Inside him is Rowland. One receiver in Abdul Haq near side, looking towards Abdul Haq over the middle, incomplete. Why did they go to him? It went off his hands between the goalposts because he's a big target. 6'6" out of Fullerton College. That's the same college that produced Jerome Gross, who's now a receiver for EKU, and they'll have to settle for the field goal. Good coverage there by Malik Mays.
They bring in Zeta for the field goal. He's 11th in the country in field goals per game. He's a good one.
Rolling the hole. Snapper will be Newberg, 4-year snapper right between the hashes. It'll be a 28-yarder for Zeta. Zeta waiting on the exchange for the lead. 4 minutes into the game, it's up over the outstretched arms of jumping Colonels and through the sticks. 3-0 TSU. 10:59 in quarter 1. Timeout. You're listening to Colonel Football from IMG College.
The Tennessee State scoring drive, 10 plays, 71 yards, just a tick over 4 minutes. They get on the board with a 28-yard field goal by their field goal kicker, Zeta. The drive extended by an EKU late hit and a 45-yard catch by Newbold.
Mosley, the punter, is their kickoff man with Wilcox injured, and then Pringle. They'll put Ross back, but they go pop-up kick. Fair catch taken with the flag down, which probably means offsides on TSU. EKU would have the football around the 22. You would think they would make Mosley kick it again. Interesting, they kicked away from EKU. Wilcox injured, one of the ranked players in the nation.
Number 25. 5-yard penalty will tack on at the 25-yard line. First down.
Okay, so that's what they're going to do, tack it on and take it that way and get a little bit better field position. Down 3-0 Eastern Kentucky, giving up that drive that Jim mentioned, resuscitated by the penalty, and now Eastern Kentucky gets its hands on the ball again at its own 30-yard line.
I wondered if the back judge was going to throw the flag on that. The kickoff coverage unit was at least 2 yards past the kickoff line when the kicker approached the football. I mean, they were way out there, Greg, so both flags through, but it was late when they threw them out.
Redshirt freshman Christian Smith, the guilty party. David Seawer, the referee, delaying and adding a second to the clock. 10:58 to 10:59. So Parker McKinney, with 3 quarterbacks injured last year, came into the Austin Peay game, led EKU to a victory, played 3 games last year, all wins, started 2. Handoff McCleskey, good hole near side, got to the corner 30, 35, 40, hit late along the sidelines, but no flag, and a good non-call there as it was right on the white at the 42. Terry Strotter, the weak side linebacker from Opelika, Florida, brought him out. Curdles in the hurry up after the 12-yard pickup. McCleskey right on 400 yards now on the year for 52. McKinney on a slant caught. Gross had to wait for it. Got it. No, make it Dixon. And Keon Dixon has the ball down to the 44-yard line for a back-to-back first downs.
The reason they had to hold off on the slant pattern was because McKinney kind of bobbled the football after the play action. He stuck the ball out, brought it back in, bobbled it a bit, had to regain control, then throw the slant pattern.
Or Dixon may have been gone for even more. So EKU 2 plays, 2 first downs. Fake the jet sweep, handoff. McCleskey got him from behind, got out of a foot tackle, reverses back near side, heads up field and made something out of nothing and got just inside the 40 for a pickup of 5. Where Ronnie Killings, second leading tackler, transfer from Navy, a 6'1" senior, made the stop.
That's an original stretch play to go to the right sideline. Nothing there. McCleskey got out of a foot tackle, then turned it back the other way.
Balance formation, 2 wide outs each way. EKU works right to left in quarter 1. Down 3-0, but a pair of first downs, 1 on the ground, 1 through the air. Now a 5-yard pickup. McCleskey, he's up to 405 yards on the year. Pass out to the edge and then backing up behind the first down, but circling back and getting the first down to the 33-yard line. Second catch of the day by Keon Dixon, and a team leading 12th where Dominique Williams, the Kentucky transfer, made the tackle. Williams just up the road last year for the Wildcats, played 1 game and then redshirted.
I like the way the Colonels are moving the football. Nice runs by McCleskey, good blocking up front, and then the short passing game.
3-0 Tigers. We near the 9-minute mark of the first quarter. Keeper by McKinney reading the defense. RPO and a good first down. Somebody's shoe comes flying out of the huddle. Back towards the referee. Got down to the 26 for 7, where Josh Green, a backup free safety from Orlando, made the tackle. And who lost the shoe? None other than the quarterback. Parker put his shoe back on. He is a Tennessee kid playing Tennessee State out of Coalfield, Tennessee, a single A school outside of Oak Ridge, the Yellow Jackets. He was quarterback and safety in high school. 2nd and 3, EKU driving. McKinney to pass on 2nd and short, rifles it out. The bang play, and it was all clean down at the 15. Incomplete pass. Great defense, Nick Harper Jr.
I thought he might have gotten there just a hair early, got an arm across the front of the intended receiver for EKU, and that was Jalen Carter on the sideline. But that play took a long time to develop. It was a long out pattern to the sideline. Took forever for him to make that break and McKinney to get the football out there.
3rd down and 3. They bring in Booth for McCleskey at running back. Booth, a 255-pound redshirt sophomore. They stuff the box. Eastern passes. It's caught. A broken tackle at the 10, the 5. It's a Colonel touchdown for Bierman. Cardinals pop 6 on the board. Bierman from 26 yards, and McKinney, and it's 6-3 Eastern Kentucky.
And that's a very simple slant pattern. Bierman one-on-one with the safety. The safety actually has to hurry up to play the ball, and when he doesn't make a play on the ball, Bierman's able to get behind him and into the end zone after escaping the tackle.
On a 3rd and 3, and McKinney threaded the needle. Snap a little off, they set it down, and Hayworth puts it through. He has not missed the PAT at Eastern Kentucky. 7-3 lead, 8:21 first quarter. Colonel football from Learfield IMG College.
Independent agent and auto owners made sure we were up and
Pass from Parker McKinney, his 3rd of the year, to Jackson Bierman. The Tate's Creek product gets his 1st one this year, 2nd career touchdown as the Colonel. And with 8:21 to go here in the first, it's 7-3. 7 plays, 72 yards on the drive, just 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Greg, we haven't played 4 minutes yet. Both teams on the board.
Hayworth to kick off. Going to kick it towards Newbold. Newbold sees it bounce. It's a live ball. And Newbold has to come back and jump on it. And one of the officials, the line judge, gets knocked over by a Colonel. He's up and okay, thank goodness. Well, that just had a weird bounce, and Newbold had to almost jolt himself back into action and jump back on the ball. Good placement by Hayworth, almost like a punt the way it hit, and it'll be at the 16-yard line. But you go back to that touchdown by the Colonels. They score a touchdown. They're now over 70% on touchdowns in the red zone, 10 of 14. Meanwhile, having to settle for a field goal, trailing 7-3, the Tigers are now below 50%. They're 8 of 17 in the red zone on touchdowns. Here's the jet sweep. And reversing course coming back this side with a wall of blockers is the quick Roland. Over the 30, over the 40, and runs out of bounds. Roland went left and then came back east to west right. Glass tracked him, but from his own 16, he took it 25 yards to the 41. Chris Roland, 3rd in the country at all-purpose yards between returns, receptions, and runs. 222 a game. That's huge.
When he reversed field, the only Colonel had a shot at him on the angle to get him for a small gain was Sumter, and he was blocked by his wide receiver teammate in Newbold.
Cavett to tight end in motion, sets it, handoff, fake, slant, and Newbold hit. Wasn't going to hold on to it anyway. Sales delivered the punishment at midfield. It'll be 2nd and 10 Tigers. Own 41-yard line halfway through quarter 1 in Richmond, Kentucky. 7-3 home team Eastern Kentucky.
And on his backside was Leapart, Alontae Leapart. They had him sandwiched, and it was a very tight window in which Rosendahl had to throw that ball, hoping Newbold could go up and get it, pull it down, and get the gain. Good job by Sales to disrupt the pass.
Interchangeable on the defensive line. Lamar Davis, the Toledo transfer in. 2nd down and 10. It's going to be a loss. Try to stretch it near side, and a tackle along the sidelines for a loss. 2nd TFL tonight for the Colonels, back to the 40-yard line by Josh Hayes. The Purdue transfer out of Indianapolis Pike at Eastern Kentucky has now made 36 tackles for losses, top 15 in the country, Jim, and it is 3rd and 11 for the Tigers, down 7-3.
And Hayes able to fight off the block of a pulling offensive lineman to get off the block and make the tackle for the loss. Nice job for Hayes to get off that block.
New defensive end in for EKU, 6'5" sophomore Trey Turner. 3rd and 11 for Rosendahl. He's in trouble. They miss the sack. They have held him. No flag comes and a throw downfield, and it is tipped away. Playing center field. Good defense by Eastern Kentucky's Frank Sumter. And it certainly, to me, looked like an EKU player was being held here as we take a replay of it. We couldn't see it right on that. It was Patrick and Trey Turner that got in there with the pressure. And Eastern Kentucky forces the first punt of the night, and it'll come off the foot of Caleb Mosley, the sophomore from Montgomery, Alabama. Gross, the returner for Eastern Kentucky, at his own 23. Snap from the 40-yard line. Own territory Tigers down 7-3. Man comes up the middle, blocked well high. Beautiful punt by Mosley. Gross does not take a fair catch. Touch drills his hand down, but could not stay on his feet. First Tiger to get penetration was Josh Green. And we have a timeout. 6:41 in period number 1. 7-3 EKU in the ball back when we come back. Colonel football from Learfield IMG College.
And that I could probably be stronger than where I was pre-surgery. That lit a fire under me.
Back action we come. First down play from the 18. Handoff McKinney coming near side. Got it to the 20, maybe a little bit beyond where he's driven out of bounds by the Tigers' Nick Harper Jr. Transfer from Missouri State. His dad, Nick, was a cornerback in the NFL for the Coltons and Titans. Of course, TSU plays a couple of their games this year at the Titans Stadium in Nashville.
Love the blocking on the left side, Greg. They're really blocking well, and McCleskey's able to get the edge most of the time.
They play a nickel. 4-2 defense with 5 in the defensive backfield. Second down and 7 for EKU. Play action. McKinney hits a man in the seam for a first down. It is Ronnie Killings with the tackle on the Colonel receiver. Third of the night by Keon Dixon. The Connecticut transfer started 12 times in 23 games for the Huskies. That's the same school that EKU got transfer Tom Tabor from, an offensive lineman, and Tim Boyle, the backup quarterback to Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay. They played on Thursday, so Tim is watching his old Colonels tonight. Tim Boyle, the Green Bay Packer quarterback, in Richmond tonight. Here's the end around reverse coming near side with a blocker. 40, 45, 50. Quick, and what a run by Davion Ross, the 5'10 freshman speedster from Perry, Georgia. He went across the 50-yard line border and took it down to the 42-yard line, a 24-yard end around.
It was a nice job by McCleskey to sell it. They go with McCleskey on the edge to the stretch play and then do the reverse off the stretch play. Tennessee State had penetration in the backfield, though.
Hurry up. Second longest run of his early career. McKinney to throw, and it is incomplete. Down in between the hashes at the 25-yard line. Dominique Wilkins made the defensive play, and he's had 5 pass deflections in the 3 games he played. Looks like he's coming up with a little bit of a limp there. Is he okay? He's got a big cast at his right hand as well.
He already has a broken wrist, and he's playing basically one-handed. That cast comes down all the way over his palm, so he's not going to be able to catch anything with that right hand.
7-3 EKU, underneath 5 minutes first quarter. They're at the TSU 42 up the middle with misdirection to Booth as they misdirected with the end around motion. And Booth got tough interior yardage where Neiman Armstrong, the nickel back from Dallas, Texas, through Cisco College, made the tackle. He was given an offer from Texas Tech, went to junior college, and then out of Cisco had an offer from Tulsa, but the senior chose TSU, and now a possession down. 4.5 to go, 3rd and 6 EKU. This is a keeper and nothing there. EKU no gain, and it'll be decision time. Actually lost one, and it's 4th down and football at the 39. What do you do here?
Well, he tried to get the defense to bite on the handoff to the stretch play right side to Booth and then go McKinney up the middle, but TSU didn't fall for it.
Justin Brown tackle for a loss. EKU at a 4th and 7, going to go for it from the 39 at TSU. Now they look over at the sidelines. A couple of assistants wearing a red hat and a yellow hat to signal in the plays. Now they drop back into the punt formation, and McKinney will punt it. Sends it down at the 5, and it hits and goes into the end zone. Slaps his hands together twice as he didn't get that spin back on it. And so EKU a plus 19 on the punt. They had Dixon gunning downfield, but the ball didn't bounce correctly for McKinney, who punts it. So they've used now 3 punters this year. Allen in at quarterback at times will punt it. Same thing there with McKinney. Blount did it when he was at Oregon State a couple of times. And at 3:40 of the first quarter, 7-3 EKU, ball back to the Tigers.
Updating you guys on some games in the OVC. Austin Peay with 2 minutes left, 52-27 leaders over Jacksonville State. And Tennessee Tech now receiving votes in some categories in the national polls, leading Eastern Illinois 21-7, closing in on halftime. That's a Gillum Sports Lounge scoreboard update in the Richmond Mall.
1st and 10 Tigers at a pistol this time for Rosendahl, the 220-pound senior running back up the middle. This is Seth Rowland, the older brother of wide receiver, slot receiver Chris Rowland. He got 3 yards of the first down play. Stephen Crowder, the linebacker, leading tackler on the EKU team, 10th in the Valley with the tackle. 7-3 EKU, 3:19 to the moving first quarter clock in the 31st meeting between the Tigers and the Colonels.
Crowder was on a run blitz that time and had to peel back and catch the running back from behind.
Running back comes right side. EKU's defense stout. Pick up a 2, maybe 3 as he leans his body over the imaginary line at the 25. Leonard Humphrey coming off that foot injury. Getting more snaps tonight after only 3 snaps at Presbyterian. Had help from the other defensive tackle, Sean Pleasant. Pick up a 3, and it'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Tigers at their own 26, down 7-3. On 3rd downs, they're 0 for 3. Quentin Floyd checks into the lineup up front.
They love the double move on 3rd and short. Watch the receivers.
Pressure by Eastern. They avoid a sack. They'll throw it, and it's incomplete. Somebody may have got a hand on it. I don't know how Rosendahl got out of what would have been only the 5th sack of the year by EKU.
They were trying to get it to Rowland, who had exactly what I thought they would do. He tried to double move up the hash. He wanted to go out and then back in on a post pattern. And Rowland, by that time, the pressure had gotten to Rosendahl, and Rowland had to come back to his quarterback, but didn't get back far enough before the pass fell incomplete.
Pressure by Corey Glass and also Stephen Crowder. 4th down and 4, second punt of the night. Mosley got a 43-yarder off. Colonels send 5 that time. They back away, and then a late pickup with a bounce by Gross, and he's going up midfield and beyond to the 48-yard line. He waited. They were blocking, and then he said, hey, nobody's watching me or spotting me. He just picked it up with a bounce and took off after a 39-yard punt. He gives the EKU offense great field position, 2:12. First quarter, 7-3 EKU on the McKinney to Bierman touchdown pass after the Zeta field goal. Both teams scoring on their first possession.
Those are the kind of plays that coaches, they what are you doing? And then good play right at the end.
3rd running back of the night in Jason Lewis. Played at Arizona State at first. McKinney to throw, man down the seam, and he missed his target. He was open. Slamming his hand into the ground was L.J. Smith. Smith, who we had on our pregame show on radio, went through that gruesome injury before the sophomore season. Torn LCL, torn ACL, partially torn MCL, dislocated knee. Took him 2 years to get back, and McKinney misfired. 2:08 clock arrested after the incomplete pass. 7-3 EKU. Slot receiver in motion, and then they go handoff to Lewis. TSU bites on the motion, and Lewis got it to the 40 for a pickup of 7. 3rd and short. 3rd and 3 coming after the tackle by cornerback Neiman Armstrong, who's playing the nickel tonight at times. With DeJour Nesmith still out of the lineup.
They caught TSU with Josh Green, a defensive back, nickel back in there. They caught him blitzing. He came off the edge, and that allowed a huge lane to open up on the edge for Lewis to get around.
Drew Hart now in at left tackle for Magwood on this series. 3rd down and 3. Colonels had to punt last time. This is Lewis. Didn't ever get started out of his tracks. And it'll be 4th down and 3 from the 40. Let's see if they do the same things. Great defensive play. Strong side linebacker with lateral pursuit. And Rashawn Epting out of Chicago. Here comes Booth in on 4th and 3. KU punted on 4th down and 7 last time for the 39. Here they are at the 40, leading 7-3.
And they had Booth in as the running back on that punting play from McKinney.
I think they're going for it this time, Jim. It feels that way. Cabrera in motion. And they are going to pass on 4th down. McKinney on a drag pattern goes off the hands of the receiver. Incomplete. across left to right. It was intended for Gross. It was a hot ball, but one that maybe he should have caught. It was tough. At Eastern Kentucky has let two golden opportunities across the midfield stripe get away from them, and will they pay the price later in this game? They've been across midfield all 3 times they've had the ball.
I think Gross may have just for a fraction of a second pulled his eyes upfield. I think he looked to see who was behind him or who was trailing him, and that's unfortunate because the Colonels had nobody trailing him. I mean the Tigers.
Good field position for the dangerous offense of TSU that averages 462 yards a game, first in the Ohio Valley. 328 passing. Play clock to 2. They get it off. Handoff running back, and the third tackle for a loss tonight. That time, Nakiah Smith, who has had a really good redshirt sophomore year from his defensive end position out of the same high school that produced Heisman Trophy winner Johnson City, Tennessee, Science Hill High School Steve Spurrier.
Dylan Denault also in on the tackle. Both of them getting off their block in the direction that Tennessee State was running the play. As soon as the running back looks upfield after getting the ball, right there are Denault and Smith.
Best field position for TSU by 20 yards of the first 3 possessions. They throw out to the left side, and it is caught. I believe the tight end got it. It's Seagree, who is the first catch of the year for him as a new wide receiver has come into their lineup. And Lawrence Seagree, a redshirt sophomore from Brentwood Academy, makes the catch. We're through 1 quarter. Midfield and beyond, the ball to TSU when we return. 7-3 EKU Colonel football from Learfield IMG College.
RDX.
Seagree's 14-yard catch at the end of the first gives TSU 47 of EKU, 7-3 Eastern Kentucky. Rosendahl throws out on the edge again to Seagree in his first action of the year. Colonel Sumter over there, and he lost his helmet. And again, Seagree, the unmarked guy. So the Colonels have concentrated on Newbold and Rowland, and he moved it for another first down to the EKU 33 of the first quarter. 17 plays EKU, 122 yards, 18 for 99 for TSU. They now go over at 100 after that 19-yard catch by Lawrence Seagree. He came out of nowhere, hadn't played in the first 4 games. They're going to throw again out on the edge. It's Seagree again, and that will go for about 8. Mark him out at the 24-yard line. It'll be second down and 2. Josh Hayes, the redshirt junior corner, with the tackle. And I guess if you're going to pay attention to Newbold and Rowland, the stars, they both have double-figure catches. They gave him great spot, give him an extra 1, and it'll be second and 1. Operating from the Colonel 24, looking for a go-ahead score. Roberson for the first down to the 21 EKU yard line as they work right to left in quarter 2. Nakiah Smith with the tackle defensive end. This has been the quarter that's been best EKU, worst TSU of the year. The Tigers in quarter 2 this year through 4 games outscored 35-13. EKU has outscored their opponents 31-7.
Seagree is just running out patterns to the outside. Sometimes it's a stop pattern. Sometimes he carries through and goes to the sideline. They're giving him so much cushion. Man in motion to the near side. One running back. It's Roberson swinging right now, trying to cut it up at the numbers. Forget it. No gain. EKU had brought Denault in up front that time. It was a linebacker ranging over. And it was Steven Crowder, the leading tackler on the team, through 4 games with a tackle. Played a minute and a half of the second quarter, 7-3 EKU, but the Tigers threatening after forcing EKU over on downs at a 4th and 3 at the 40 and forcing a punt on 4th down and 7 at the 39 of the Tigers. Quentin Floyd had ranged over and gummed up the work so much that they really couldn't get anything going on the running play. Crowder finished him off.
Roberson, the running back, lined up left, handoff running back. At Roberson inside the 20 for 3 to the 18-yard line. Tackle by Aaron Patrick, the criminal justice major out of Dayton, Ohio, and it's 3rd down and 7 for the Tigers. They're in the red zone. Sean Pleasant checks in up front. Well, they're not good in the red zone this year. Last time they were here, only time tonight, they had to settle for a field goal. They are 13 of 17 on red zone scoring opportunities, but only 8 of 17 on touchdowns. 7-3 EKU. Big play early here, 3rd and 7 for the Colonel, 18 for Rosendahl. Pressure, throws, backside of the end zone, incomplete coverage all the way by Bascom. And Roland could not get open so far against Roland. Number 1 receiver in the country, 42 catches, 5th in the country in touchdowns. He's been really a marked man, and the EKU secondary has done its job.
Bascom has been like flypaper on him today, not letting him have a whole lot of daylight. Didn't allow it on that play, but it's amazing to me how much Tennessee State loves the fade pattern on 3rd down once they get into the red zone. They throw it a lot this season.
Zeta hit a 28-yarder in the first quarter for the first score. From the far hash, 35-yarder for Zeta. Set down, kick up, plenty of leg. Good. Tigers pull within 1 of EKU, 7-6. 12-17, first half of play. You're watching and listening to Colonel Football from Learfield IMG College.
Under me.
Tennessee State goes 9 plays, 42 yards, 3 minutes, 31 seconds to make it 7-6. Colonels still have a 1-point lead. It's a 35-yard field goal for Antonio Zeta.
Mosley kicks it off pretty deep. And Ross on the end in the scripted Colonels halfway deep into the maroon and white end zone. We'll bring it back to the 25 and a touchback.
Greg, in that drive for TSU, remember that the drive started at the 40-yard line on their side of the field after EKU fails on 4th and 3. And then 3 catches for a little-used receiver, Lawrence Segree, in that drive, kept it going and got them down for the field goal. It was an odd drive for this Tennessee State team, but a drive that started because EKU could not convert.
Eastern Kentucky against a team that gives up almost 38 points a game, 102nd out of 125 teams at FCS. Colonels missed their chances. They've been across midfield every time they've had the ball. Tigers claw within 1, stack the box, and off running back EKU McCleskey. That is a tough 1 yard for the leading rusher, Darryl McCleskey. 4th carry, 23 yards. Your leading rusher on the double reverse was Ross, the wide receiver who came in motion.
They sent L.J. Smith in motion right to left underneath, and the linebacker didn't go with him. So the linebacker was there to make the tackle on McCleskey when he tried to go to the left side of the line.
Justin Culpepper, defensive tackle, made the stop out of Lakeland, Florida. 2nd and 9, EKU leading by 1. In the second quarter, it's McCleskey, big gap that time. Breaks a couple of tackles, breaks another, still going 40, 45, 50. High steps it and out of bounds. Down just outside the 40-yard line. Going to mark him at the 40. Josh Green chased him to the boundary, but as we watch it back, 1 missed tackle, 2 missed tackles, Jim, and off to the races McCleskey went for 34 yards.
Well, and it's Terry Straughter, the linebacker, that had the first shot at him. You've got to wrap up. He hits him full force. McCleskey just bounces off, keeps going. Straughter left in his wake.
McCleskey now 86 yards from 2000 in his career. Fake handoff, keeper McKinney. If that was an RPO read, it wasn't the read that worked, as they faked the handoff to Booth, who had come in, and Mekhi Brown made the tackle. Brown, a good one. Mekhi Brown, 6'5", 250 redshirt senior, played in Alabama 3 games in 16, 12 games in 17, and he's getting a Senior Bowl watch list work. So Booth is in, 2nd down and 9, Colonels, 39-yard line of the Tigers, 7-6 EKU. Hand off Booth, Alonzo Booth breaks a tackle, breaks another, and slams into a 3rd Tiger before going down on the left side of the line to the left corner at the 33, where finally Rashawn Epling, the New Mexico transfer, tackled him. And yeah, we talk about transfers. 10 transfers on this 2D.
It's really hard for a defensive back to come after Booth, hit him by himself high, and bring him down. Booth bounced off Killings, the defensive back. Although a good-sized guy, you're not going to bring him down with that guy alone.
Wing left side. And one Colonel tight end, handoff. Booth, he finds a hole, cuts it out to the right at the 25, adjusted to 20, to the 15, to the 10. Alonzo Booth rolling his way down to the 7-yard line, a pickup of 26. A dose of McCleskey for 34. A dose of Booth for 26. Killings made the stop, and the Colonels are first and goal at 9:40 of the first half, leading 7-6.
I think Wes Chandler could have hit that hole. That thing was wide open. Nobody on the right side of the offensive line. Great blocking to seal the edge by the right side of EKU Colonel offensive line.
Polk is in at guard now for EKU. Grant Polk. It's Booth. Booth gets grabbed and gets about a yard, maybe two. Dante Ferguson, redshirt senior, Lithonia, Georgia, along with Khalil Jones, also a big guy up front with the tackles.
They tried some kind of trap, I think, maybe even a counter. It was a read type of play where you put the ball in the belly of the running back and then make the decision based on the defensive reaction, but it just took too long to develop. McKinney held it there forever before he went ahead and let Booth have it.
Armstrong checks into the lineup in the nickel. 4-man down. McCleskey in for Booth. 2nd and goal for the 6. Man in motion. Fake of the handoff. Keeper McKinney to the right edge. Fakes a man out. Nobody touches him. Touchdown. Parker McKinney. Touchdown. Colonels at Eastern Kentucky on their home field. Leads 13-6. Jim, it looks like Parker McKinney's team right now, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. It looks much more confident as a quarterback. He fakes the pitch on the option play on that play. The defensive back bit all the way on the fake pitch, and it just allowed him to sneak into the end zone. McKinney right now looks very, very confident and decisive with his play calling.
1A Mr. Football 2 years ago at Coalfield High School in the Volunteer State. For a 14-6 lead. Set down, kick by Hayworth up. Good. Still had missed an extra point. And it is 14-6 Eastern Kentucky. 8:34 first half. Colonel football from Learfield, IMG College.
That lit a fire under me.
Second rushing touchdown of the season for Parker McKinney. 6 yards on this one. Nifty little fake pitch on the option play. Hayworth's extra point makes it 14-6 to drive 7 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes and 43 seconds. The 5th drive of the season for the Colonels, over 70 yards.
Here's an EKU pooch kick. Hits. It's a live ball. Tiger gets on it at 32. It was a nifty little move there by TSU because they have such a great returner in Roland. He was back there with Johnson. He hid behind Johnson, went one way, and then as EKU was lining up to kick off, came back the other way to the other side, all moot because of the short kick.
And it was recovered by Andrew Knox. It took him a minute to fall on it and allowed EKU a shot at it, but he was able to cover it up at the very end.
McKinney, a 6-yard touchdown run, as Jim said, a third of his career, had one against Murray along with the 2 he's had in the last 2 weeks after a Bierman touchdown catch from McKinney. And now a pair of field goals for the Tigers. One from 28, one from 39 by Zeta, and they trail at 8:33 of the first half, 14-6.
Remember, there was a 34-yard run by McCleskey and a 26-yard run by Booth in that drive for the Colonels.
Lack of getting it done in the red zone for the Tigers. Rosendahl flings it way out, and Newbold caught it and then got it dislodged by Sumter. Incomplete. Man, Frank Sumter laid the leather to Newbold. The voice of the referee there, David Seward, working with John Graham, the umpire, at his crew tonight.
Timed it perfectly to get there when the ball does. He's not allowing as much cushion to Newbold on the side as they did to Seagree on the last drive.
Got an H-back, and now they throw out a man. There's Newbold, or I should say Roldhan, the leading receiver in the nation, for short yardage, but enough on 2nd down and 10 to get 9 to make it 3rd and manageable. 3rd and 1 at their own 40. Josh Hayes forces him out short of the stick. So far tonight, only 4 of 12 by Rosendahl. He entered the game 63% passer.
It's actually Jaden Woods that got over to help push him out of bounds too, Greg.
Going to switch the running back Corbin to the left of Rosendahl. Now they'll pop him back to the right. 3rd and 1 here. It's going to be Corbin, and he got the first down. Found a gap right side of the line. Good blocking by Cam Durley, the Kansas transfer at right tackle, and Raekwon Allen, transfer from Georgia Military College. Got to mention Cam Durley, the 6'6 redshirt junior from Houston. He played in the Little League World Series for Saudi Arabia.
Wow. That's nice to put on your resume.
First down at 10 Tigers, 7:44, second quarter, 14-6 Eastern Kentucky. McKinney on his arm to Bierman and on his legs with a fake pitch for a touchdown on the ground. EKU stuffs it on the first down running play for 2 to the Tigers' own 47. Roberson back in, the Ellsworth Community College transfer. At Eastern Kentucky's Aaron Patrick with another tackle.
That time they tried to shift everything to the opposite side. They tried to seal off the left edge, and Aaron Patrick was waiting for it.
Glass and Patrick both with 4 tackles there. They've got a man open long down between on a post pattern, and it is their star, Chris Rowland. He got in a seam where no Curdles were, caught it to the 35, took it to the 32 where Brenton Irvin made the tackle, and you cannot rest against this Tennessee State offense. They can strike quick. They put up 32 points a game, 462 yards. That one goes for 21 to Rowland.
They're so good at finding the cushion in between your linebackers and defensive backs.
Airs to the right side, the other Rowland, the older Rowland, Seth Rowland, the brother of Chris. And so a dose of Rowland and Rowland, a football law firm before Malik Mays, brings Seth Rowland down for a pickup of 11. And like that, the TSU Tigers are driving, trailing by 8 with 6:20 in the first half of play. For offensive coordinator Shannon Harris in his first year, played quarterback at TSU back in the early 2000s.
Aaron Patrick that time, a rare mistake by the All-American candidate. He overran the play. He tried to stretch that to the sideline, went a little bit too far to the outside, and the running back was able to cut back up inside.
Chris Rowland comes near side. One receiver far side. They got an H-back each way. At Eastern Kentucky stuffs it on first down for a gain of just over 1. Seth Rowland carried it again. You know, you talk about his brother Chris Rowland. I loved what Draft Diamond said, one of those websites that tracks potential draft choices. They called Chris Rowland a Swiss Army knife with speed. Went Floyd, plug that hole, pick up a 2 by older brother Seth Rowland. 5:25, clock ticking, second quarter, 14-6 EKU, second at 8 Tigers, third time to the Colonel red zone. They've had to settle for field goals by Zeta the first 2 times. Pass, left side, Newbold adjusts, and tipped away at the last moment by Sumter. He was beat for a second, Turn got a hand in there. Good job by the Illinois transfer, Frank Sumter, against Newbold, as one in gray plays one in white there.
And it was a fade pattern. Instead of throwing it on third down, they threw it on second down inside the 20-yard line. And he just underthrew it a bit. Sumter never got his head around to the football, but it hit him right in the back, right in the numerals, and kept the ball away from Newbold not being able to make the catch off Sumter's back.
3rd and 8 for the Tigers. Again, so far this year in the red zone, they've had to settle for field goals a lot. They made 6 of them. They're 8 of 18 on touchdowns in the red zone. Tonight, they're 1 of 6 on third down conversions. At a timeout to TSU.
30-second timeout.
So let's see if the Tigers can find productivity. Eastern Kentucky has not done a good job this year through 4 games in defending third down, 41%, but tonight doing a marvelous job so far.
One of the things they like to do, Greg, is run that fade pattern off third down.
Yeah, it kind of needs to be stopped, and it's still running.
I think they're just timing the timeout is what is going on here. They put a minute up. This is only a 30-second timeout. So I think the referee thought that they were running time off the game clock, but that's not what's going on.
Yeah.
One thing you notice, guys, Mark Elder using a lot of new faces, kind of subbing in and out, especially up front on the defensive line. And one of the reasons, it's 87 degrees here. It's just past the 7 o'clock hour. Very humid. He wants his guys to stay fresh. So I think that's one of the reasons why you're seeing a lot of rotation going back into the CKU D-line.
Saving you money on car insurance has been in Geico's playbook for over 75 years. So after the game, go to quotegeico.com. Geico, so easy a caveman could do it. Now the clock is set at 5:08, so you were right, Jim. Confused the referee David Seward for a minute. 3rd down and 8, Tigers trailing 14-6, trying to get more than a field goal opportunity out of this from the Colonel 19 for Rosendahl. Throws to the back corner, an adjustment, but he's out of bounds. The catch was made by Newbold, but he couldn't get the foot down. He's pleading. Let's see if there's any reason to send this up to the replay booth where Tom Haas is, and they're not going to. We'll take another look at it. Definitely out of bounds, maybe. The coverage was right there by Jaden Woods. They haven't stopped the play, and they're going to bring the field goal kicker Zeta on. So red zone troubles continue for the Big Blue, as they have now gone 8 of 19 on red zone touchdown opportunities. And now the whistle late. Let's see if they are going to send it to the booth or the Tigers called a timeout.
They're trying to give them more time to look at it, Greg.
Timeout, Tennessee State. They are challenging the last call as a complete pass. The previous play is under further review.
Well, if it is, it'll be a touchdown, and it'll be a 1-point game, or it'll be a 2-point game.
From the initial look that we got, it looked as if his toes may have caught Maroon in the end zone. Now the question comes in, does he have control of the football? That's the big question. Is he controlling the ball? Because I thought his toes may have gotten into the corner of the end zone.
Mark Elder animated in the Colonel huddle to the defense. Newbold made a nice turn there to even make the catch. The initial ruling at the 5:02 mark of period number 2 with EKU leading 14-6 is incompletion. Official right on top of it, but what will the television cameras tell us here?
And the thing you mentioned about Rowland, Newbold made that catch. Rowland, the one getting more looks really at the next level. The question about him is,
there you go. TSU has just hired Jim Kyrie as their replay booth monitor.
And again, the question doesn't come in on the foot.
Yeah.
It comes in on the whether or not he had control. And he has to have control all the way down. And I think that's where you can't really overturn what the ruling is on the field. It has to be incontrovertible.
Second field goal attempt from the right hash, working right to left. This will be the longest of the day, 36-yarder. Snap from Newberg, hold by Rowland on this 4th and 8. And Zito's hit from 28 and 35 and is now 8 of 10 on the year, waiting to put his right foot into it. A sophomore from Fayetteville, Tennessee. Going to go into the ministry after college.
He's already eclipsed his average 1.5 field goals a game coming into this one, so he'll raise up on the charts nationally.
Trying to get back within 5. Zeta, no pressure, not a high kick, but it's good. And Zeta has been their weapon tonight. 14-9 Eastern Kentucky, 4:59 first half. Colonel football from Learfield IMG College.
Third field goal of the game for Antonio Zeta. This one from 36 yards makes it a 14-9 game. The drive 10 plays, 50 yards, and 3 minutes, 35 seconds. Colonels get the ball back, Greg.
And Ross, 4 yards deep, will come out of there. Big gamble here. Can he find a hole? He got to the quarter 20. He's to the 25. He's far side 30 into the Tiger boundary. And he got all the way up to the 38-yard line. That's one you say, oh, don't do it. And he did it.
No flags. No flags. I was watching for the handkerchiefs to fall. That's what really kills you when you take it out of the end zone. If a block in the back or a hold happens back downfield. But this one went right for the Colonels. 38-yard lines where they're going to start this drive.
Colonels started the season with Will Cox as their kick returner. He's 15th in the country, injured an ankle. Second game he hasn't played. And then Quentin Pringle was the kick returner last week, a true freshman. He's hurt an hamstring, so Ross basically their third string guy, but the best speed. Here's McKinney to throw out on the left edge, a catch. There was contact between the receiver and the Colonel that made the catch, and Bierman, who's had the touchdown catch tonight, and a pickup of 6, second down and 4 EKU, 4:35. In quarter two, EKU has all of its timeouts left. Tigers have 1:14-9 Eastern Kentucky.
Oh, if that was Killings or another defensive back, but they held his jersey
the
entire time that he was making the catch. Good catch by Bierman.
Right in front of the line judge there. Here's a handoff. McCleskey breaks a tackle and inside TSU territory to the 46.5 yard line. Justin Brown brings him down, but EKU offense, a new offensive coordinator, Adam Austin, going to McCleskey there, and the Colonels are across midfield now. All 5 times they've had the football, adjusted the spot back to the 47 far hash.
If you could make a career out of missing tackles tonight, then Straughter of TSU would be able to retire. He's missed a ton.
And McCleskey, a big reason, averaging 11 a carry, 66 yards. McCleskey came in 6th in the country per carry. This one will be another good pickup for Darryl McCleskey as he rolled over a Tiger and got 7 on first down. Darryl McCleskey tackled that time by Green, who comes up a little bit limping. Josh Green. He's ambidextrous. Doesn't work on the feet, though. And he
breathes underwater?
I think that's not what that means, Jim. That's your Beattyville education. Nearing the 3-minute mark, Booth gives McCleskey a blow on the bench. 73 yards for McCleskey tonight. He's now 70 away from 2,000 in his career. Here's Booth, finds a hole. He's gone to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. Pylon, touchdown. Alonzo Booth on a 40-yard run. And Eastern Kentucky answers the trio of Tiger field goals with a Booth rumble to the house.
It's amazing how well the guys up front have blocked in the running game so far tonight. They have really opened some huge holes. That time the left side. It's been the right side predominantly so far, but the left side, those guys, Hart is on that edge. He sealed that thing off perfectly and allowed Booth to get a huge running lane.
So one by McKinney, one by Booth. McKinney a passing touchdown. They fired the cannon early. The ROTC guys with a tradition, a little quick on that. Didn't bother the PAT kicker Hayworth. He hit it, hadn't missed it his career. 21-9 EKU with 2:56 to go in the first half of play. New this year, Mark Eller joins me live every Tuesday afternoon at 2 on Facebook to chat live about Colonel football. Join us then or look for it on demand at facebook.com/EKU Colonels. Mark Eller trying to go 11-7 in year 4 at home, get his OVC record back to 11-13 and his overall record to 17-21, coaching against former Tiger defensive star Rod Reed, now in year number 10 as the head coach of the Big Blue. He's 3-4 against EKU. Let's swing it up to Wes Chandler.
These last 2 drives, Greg and Jim, look like vintage EKU, ground and pound. That's what you call, Greg, tailgate you for so long. And what an advantage it is to have 2 backs that can just break it at any moment like McCleskey and Booth.
Well, McCleskey went for the long run, and then Booth added to it with a 40-yarder. Booth had a 40 and a 26-yarder. A beautiful night in Central Kentucky, in Richmond, Kentucky. Glad you're along here. It's Hall of Fame weekend at EKU. Patrick Bugg, a 2-time All-American, now in the Navy out in San Diego with 4 young daughters, went into the Hall of Fame. Longtime EKU defensive coordinator Jack Eisen. Jack Eisen coached 38 years as an assistant, and he was under 2 coaches, both legends, both heads of the American Football Coaches Association as president. Roy Kidd and Bill Cronin at Georgetown. They went into the Hall here. EKU trying to win here tonight, up 21-9 over TSU. Short kickoff, taking it to 12-yard line, and a somersaulting defensive play by an EKU defender and the guy Johnson went spiraling over top there and got it out to only the 26-yard line. For a moment, it looked open, Jim.
Yeah, he had a nice lane set up on that far hash mark, but all of a sudden it closed down. As soon as he saw the opening, you could see his eyes light up, and it closed off immediately. A good job of getting over after initially getting out of your lane. Somebody in that coverage unit initially got out of the center of the field, then moved back over to the hash.
Booth has had 5 carries, averaging 15.4 a carry. McCleskey's had 7, averaging 10.4. Ross had 1, averaging 24 on his 1. Here is the quarterback coming near side and incomplete. Diving attempt by Jatavius Harris, a University of Louisville transfer that left that program, redshirt year last year, as they made a coaching change, a much needed coaching change for the Cardinals. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
Sorry, Greg, that was the far side, or the near side of the field to us, but that was the wide side. So that ball has to be thrown a long ways on a 10-yard and out.
Balance formation, looking to the near side, the long side. Chasing Rosendahl to the boundary and pushing him out of bounds is Eastern Kentucky's Stephen Crowder. Crowder, the applied engineering management major. Played running back and linebacker at high school, and another tackle for a loss, Jim. There's been 4 by an EKU team that came in top 15 in the country. They've now had 38 tackles for loss as a team in 4.5 games. They lead 21-9 to EKU, 2:22 in the first half. 3rd and 12 here.
Watch the slant pattern here to Roland. You got to watch him in the slot.
1 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. Rosendahl, pressure on, steps in the pocket, almost tripped, adjusting from behind Colonel's Chase. He throws, it's incomplete. The pressure was intense and unrelenting by Eastern Kentucky's defense, led by Kurt Maddox, the defensive coordinator, and the freshman that we bragged about a lot that shows such an upside, led the pressure in Kabosh Richards out of Lansing, Michigan.
Yeah, Richards able to get behind the quarterback and chase him after initially getting pushed upfield. He comes back and is able to get pressure on the quarterback, but give the coverage unit a lot of credit. That play lasted forever, and they did not allow a receiver to get open.
4th down and 12. On 24-yard line, 3rd punt of the night. Eastern Kentucky sends left side pressure, a hanging beauty. Air balloon type of kick taken by Gross up the sidelines. Good block. 30, 35. Gross over the 40. He breaks a tackle 50 to the 49-yard line, where he gets leveled by a big bread truck, Justin Culpepper. Oh, it was Cameron Stewart instead. 53-yard punt and a buzz in the crowd on that one. 320 pounds, just leveled Gross, but not before he took it from the 20 back 31 yards. And EKU now has 6 possessions, and they've been across midfield every time they had the ball. Already they have scored 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 passing.
When you made the initial call of Culpepper, he actually had the feet of Gross, and Stewart had him up high.
I would not want to be hit by Stewart in a full-speed run. McKinney to throw in a slant, caught. Trying to split 2 Tigers. They picked up 9 on the throw to Eastern Kentucky's Keon Dixon, his 4th of the night. Keon Dixon's becoming the go-to guy in this receiving corps.
I wanted to say earlier, he's emerging as a guy who makes tough catches, and that's a tough catch on a slant pattern in front of a guy who has a lot of coverage on it.
4th down and 1, but we've got a conversation with some of the officials here. What do you see, Wes?
Yeah, I was just going to notify you. The umpire went over and talked with the back judge about something, maybe the placement of the ball.
Ruling on the field was a complete pass. 2nd down.
All right, so they work that out, and EKU will have 2nd down and 1. 1:35, 3 timeouts. Clock winds. 21-9 EKU in quarter 2. And a lot of time kind of went off if EKU called a timeout. All right, so they should reset the clock a little bit here, you would think, Jim, as they've tossed it up to the replay booth for the 2nd time tonight, and Tom Haas.
And I think what they'll do is reset time on the clock after they confirm on the replay. I'm not really sure of what they're taking a look at, other than maybe the placement of the ball and whether or not this got inside the 40 and closer to the first down mark. That's the only thing I can think of, unless it's possession, because he had his back to us at the end of the play. Did he have possession of the ball when he went down to the ground, and did he use the ground to help him secure possession of the football?
EKU 29 plays, 7 less than the Tigers, but 268 yards in the first half. Eastern Kentucky in 2015 rolled up 549 against the Tigers. The next year, where they lost in Nashville, rolled up 584 but lost 35-28. At 370 in that loss 2 years ago.
Elder was just over speaking with the side judge. I think he was wondering what they were looking at, got an explanation, and then went back to his huddle where the Colonels are talking about their next option.
Mark Elder, 2000 graduate, a Case Western reserve, was a mentor of Butch Jones at Central Michigan, Cincinnati, and Tennessee. Left a year before or two before Butch Jones lost his job as the Volunteers head coach. 2nd and 1 if this play stands. 21-9 EKU, 90 seconds in the first half right now.
The longer this goes on, the more I think they're probably looking at the placement of the football. Let's go down to Wes. He may have had a better look at it.
No, Jim, I was just going to reiterate your point. The longer this takes, you wonder if the play may be reversed as far as they're adjusting the marker and the time on the clock.
Yeah, it takes a while to do the math here. Eastern Kentucky and Tennessee State playing for the 31st time. The first time these two programs played, both with rich traditions, was a doozy in the 1AA playoffs. That's what it was called back then in 1982. Colonels won a national championship that year and beat the Tigers here on this field 13-7. Here is David Seward.
Second down and 10 at the 49-yard line. Please put 1 minute, 35 seconds on the clock. The clock will start on the snap.
So did he have it and then bobble it and lose it? As I watched it live, but again, we're 9 stories up. I didn't see that, and we haven't seen a replay there.
And again, he made a spin move at the end of that play and had his back to us up here.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe a bobble, or at least when he went down to the ground, that he used the ground to help secure the football, which is, by rule, an incomplete pass.
To Keon Dixon, that makes McKinney 5 of 10. 1 passing touchdown to Bierman. 2nd down and 10 from the 49. Ground. That time the Tigers say we've had enough of this rushing game. Give EKU's running back McCleskey only 1. EKU will go down to 3rd down at 8 here to Ray Jones. Made the tackle on 3rd down conversions, 2 of 4 for EKU, 1 of 8 tonight for the Tigers. They've had to settle for 3 field goals. Now EKU, as they hold the clock at 1:11, ready for play. We'll see if McKinney can find an opening here, or will they have to punt it away? Bardall, the center. McKinney has a running back lined up to his left. Good protection, up in the pocket, sacked for the first time tonight. I was just about to brag, back at his own 47. Rashawn Epting had a sack against Middle Tennessee, gets the first of the night. The Colonel offensive line has been so good tonight after being the 9th worst team in the country in the number of sacks allowed, but that one just took too long to develop, and you would think that just throwing it away would have been the best option, but McKinney ate it. Now the Tigers used their last time out, hungry to try to break one long and change the complexion of this game.
I saw the same thing, though, Greg, that Parker McKinney saw, and that was there was nobody coming from the right side. He didn't realize the pressure was going to come from underneath, right in front of him. And when he tried to move out of the pocket to the right side and get that running lane, the pressure got to him underneath before he could get moving forward. That brought him down. I can't blame him for that one. I think in his mind, he saw a running lane and thought, I might be able to get a little bit here on this open right side.
So EKU had scored 3 of the first 5 times they had the football, got across midfield, then that reversal of a catch for 9 and the first sack of the night. And here they come after the punter Richards, but he got it off, taking it to 22, and the Colonels' coverage on TSU good at the 27-yard line, and the ever dangerous all-purpose returner and receiver Chris Rowland, third in the country, and the punt of 32 yards. And see if the Tigers, with no timeouts, they're dangerous. They throw for 328 yards a game, 8th best in the country. They trail 21-9. If they could pull something off here, it just totally changes the complexion of the game, because EKU felt like it could drive and spread this to a 3-score game. Didn't happen here.
They're going to air it out. I think you're going to see these out patterns on the sideline until they make the double move and try to get down the field.
For the quarterback, Rosendahl, wideouts each way. Now 3 go right as into the slot goes Rowland. Rosendahl back to pass. They've got him from behind, and back-to-back sacks in this game by each team. Aaron Patrick, quarterback sacked 21.5, 4th of the season to lead the OVC, and he is now just a half sack away from Ernest Thompson, a number 4 all-time at EKU.
Offensive lineman Will James had pushed Patrick behind the quarterback, but finally Patrick's able to get away from the block and chase down the quarterback from behind after James leaves the play.
And now the Tigers say, okay, no more.
We call it.
White flag, 21-9 at halftime. They let the clock expire. A little jawing between the two teams. Good work by the referees to separate things. And we go to the locker rooms with the score. Eastern Kentucky 21, Tennessee State 9. Colonel football from Learfield IMG College.
No purchase necessary. Just bring your game. Kids Club and be a part of an exclusive experience throughout the year. Call 844-3-GO-BIG-3 for more information.
21-9, Eastern Kentucky over the Tigers, and the Colonels will get the ball to open the third stanza. The difference, Tigers get field goals, 3 of them when they get in the red zone. EKU gets 3 touchdowns. 21-9, EKU 6 possessions every time across midfield, but twice stopped. They had a 4th down and 7, drop back and punted that time. The other time went for it at the 40, 4th and 3, didn't get it. And then there at the end of the first half, got a sack after a pass to the 41 was ruled incomplete upon review. But the Tigers just have not been able to get it going. 1 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. Jim, Eastern Kentucky's held the passing game for TSU, one of the best in the country down so far, but still 30 minutes of football to play, and I don't think the Tigers will go 6 of 18 in half 2.
No, I think they're probably going to pick things up. You have to remember, though, the Colonels were fairly stingy in passing yards allowed coming into the game. 8th in the country coming into this game in passing yards allowed. Yeah. So Tennessee State, I don't think they thought they were just going to come in here and roll over the Colonels secondary. They were going to have to earn it. We've seen flashes of that. Newbold and the other receiver for Tennessee State, Rowland. They're not. You're not going to hold them down the whole game, and we've seen flashes in the first half. I think we're going to see them get more involved here, and the Colonels are going to have to withstand that.
You take the Louisville game out, where the Colonels got waxed 42-0 on the road against the 3 FCS opponents. Now 2 of them non-scholarship in Valparaiso and Presbyterian. They've only given up 12 points a game and 252 yards a game, so it's pretty good defense. But again, you know, can they do it in crunch time? They didn't in that tight game at Indiana State. Little dancing on the sidelines, music blaring, about time to go to half number 2 for Eastern Kentucky and Tennessee State in meeting number 31. These two schools have tremendous Hall of Fame coaches. John Merritt in the Hall of Fame in 1994, coached at TSU from 63 to 83. He was a Kentucky State graduate, born in Falmouth, Kentucky, won 74-35-7, came in here when they played in the 82 playoffs and said they're going to cage the bird. And they did not cage Steve Bird. Well, maybe they did, but the Colonels got the win 13-7 for Hall of Fame coach Roy Kidd, who had 314 wins. They had a dedication around the Roy Kidd statue today, the Matter of Pride. wall naming over 3,000 people involved in Roy Kidd's 39 years as the head coach, either player, coach, manager, trainer, or support personnel. What a day it was for the Hall of Fame coach and his players.
Greg, I think the Colonels have to come out in this first drive and set the tone. A nice long drive that culminates in a touchdown would go a long way in cementing this game.
Had a chance to do that at the end of the first half and failed. Here's a short pop-up kick, fair catch, 30-yard line where the Colonels will start almost the near side of that kickoff line. Offsides again. Andre Tig Jr. with the fair catch and pretty good field position for EKU. Here's where they started. Own 30, own 18, opposition's 47, own 25, own 38, opposition's 49. When they took it in the plus side, they didn't make it on fourth down and they punted. So they've had 2 drives over 70 yards tonight and 5 on the year. And back to play we go in quarter number 3, 21-9 EKU with McKinney, the freshman at quarterback who played 3 games last year, got the red shirt, flagged down, didn't get the playoff in time. My bad, it was not a false start. 3rd false start of the year on Jackson Bardall, making his 15th start in a row. The Cummings, Georgia 6'3" redshirt junior. Not many penalties in that first half. 1 for 3 yards against the Tigers, who came in last in the OVC at 73 a ball game.
And the Colonel's only penalty was that late hit that resulted in the first Tennessee State field goal.
Until that penalty right there. Had to set the clock back a second as that play was blown dead. 2 wide receivers each way. EKU opens quarter 3 up by 12 with a man in the slot near side in motion gap up the middle. And here comes McCleskey. He's over the 40, he's over the 50. 1 man to beat. Angles around him, can't get him, and they spin him down at the 31-yard line. Darryl McCleskey is running his way near 2,000 yards in his career. The Kentucky transfer Dominique Williams finally got him, but he took it 43 yards. Longest run of the night for the Colonels. Booth had a 40-yarder and a 26-yarder. McCleskey had a 34-yarder in the first half. 117 yards for McCleskey. Over 100 yards 3 games in a row, and now 8 in his career. At the 32 of the Tigers, McKinney steps in the pocket, throws. A defender draped all over the intended receiver. 9 yards downfield, incomplete. Great defense there by the Tigers on Keon Dixon. It was Nick Harper Jr.
And that was just a little out pattern, but Harper stayed right on the back of Dixon, stayed right with him. Good defense by the Tigers. Did not allow the cushion for him to get to the out pattern part of that toward the sideline.
So Adam Austin, the offensive coordinator, tries to cross him up with a first down pass. Doesn't work. 2nd down and 10. Gary Fisher's defense, former EKU linebacker coach. 2nd down passing. McKinney throwing for the end zone, and it is incomplete. The defender turned and actually had a chance better than Keon Dixon did.
Yeah, it was again Harper.
Boy, Harper's done a good job here. Nick Harper Jr. out of Ravenwood High School. His dad knows something about playing a defensive back position, a cornerback in the NFL with the Colts and Titans.
Parker overthrew that pass a little bit, just a little bit too long down the sideline because he could not follow through. The pressure got up into his face.
3rd down and 10 after 2 incomplete passes after the 40-plus run. Lewis in at running back, fake to him. Here's a wide receiver screen. Colonel's trying to get near first down territory, but great pursuit to keep the Colonel well short. McCleskey caught it out of the backfield away from Lewis's motion. Only got to the 28, and it'll be 4th down and 6. And they will eschew the field goal try. Hayworth missed 2 last week and go for it on 4th down. On 4th downs tonight, EKU 0 for 1. Didn't make it on a 4th down and 3 from the 40. They'll try it 4th down and 6 here from the 28. McCleskey in at running back. 3 receivers to the right. Handoff McCleskey. They went short side of the field, and that doesn't work, and the Colonels are stopped for a gain of 1. Tiger defense stands tall, led by Rashawn Epting. the strong side linebacker, and the Colonels over on downs now twice in this ball game. That time on 4th and 6, they failed to keep the drive alive.
2 receivers to both sides for the Colonels that time, and what they were hoping was that it would spread the field enough that they would get some running lanes on the outside, and they run that play, a little stretch play, to get to the sideline. Nobody on Tennessee State's defense was fooled. They're able to come up and make the stop.
Tigers got to be upset. They only got field goals 3 times they were in the red zone. They weren't deep in the red zone, but EKU's been across midfield all 7 times they've had the ball, only 3 touchdowns, stopped on downs twice. Pressure, EKU trying to get to him, but enough time to find a crossing pattern left to right here by the numbers, caught by their star receiver, Chris Rowland. He has 4.45 speed. Baskin brought him down, but it's a first down to the 37.
Also getting up there to help out on the tackle that time was Joseph Sales, but way too much time for Rosendahl to sit back there and pick the secondary apart. Newbold and Rowland are going to get free eventually.
Hadn't been a mistake in this ball game. Both teams error free. Running back, no gain. Patrick and teammates are about 4 gray-shirted Colonels there. And there comes a flag against offensive lineman center Thomas Burton. A late hit on a Colonel as the play extended well beyond the whistle. He went over Steven Crowder, and that ought to back him up here, as I believe Burton got hit with a late hit. We'll hear from the referee, David Siebert. Pretty easy call there, right in front of the officiating crew. No gain on the play. That was almost after the play, Jim. Let's see how they administer this. Yes.
Personal foul. Offense. Number 64. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
Turner, Juck, and also in Jaden Woods. So the Colonels make an up-front substitution, a linebacker substitution, and a secondary substitution for defensive coordinator Kirk Maddox. It is 21-9 EKU, 12:42 in quarter 3.
That's a mental mistake penalty. The whistle has sounded. You've got to give it up at that point. But he just held on too long. Burton did on Crowder and threw him to the ground. They're going to call that every single time.
Graduate student. Second down and 25 now, back to their own 22. Send a man out of the backfield in motion. Look back to him, throw the jailbreak near side. Nothing going, and EKU pounds him down, and a little bit of a late hit here. Let's see if a flag comes. No. It was close. DeMarco Corbin made the catch, and there were Colonels flying in there. Corbin up and okay. They get the ball away from him. Another tackle for negative yardage. Let's see where they put it down. That was close to being a flag there, Jim.
Yeah, Patrick came in after the progress has stopped and just threw him down to the ground, so it looked a little bit worse than it actually was. Some Colonels flying over top of the pile.
No gain on the play. Third down, 22. They did pick up 3. Sack. Second of the night. Patrick. He moves up to number 4 all time in Colonel football history, past Ernest Thompson, a nose guard out of Southern Kentucky. Second sack of the night, third tackle for a loss, 35 TFLs on his career, and the Eastern defense stoking the defensive furnace.
He's starting to pick it up a little bit, and he beat Will James, the junior, that time out of Tupelo. He is really getting off the block very well and getting into the backfield, causing disruption.
Whistle sounds before the punt by Mosley, who has had a great leg tonight.
The official.
Well, they have really kind of discombobulated here after a chance. Rod Reed, 5'10", 170 freshman blocker with the false start. So after 3 yards and penalties, 1 flag in the first half, a total. Okay, so not Rod Reed, but Jordan Bell was the guilty party as the referee changes the number, down 1 digit. 21-9 EKU, 4 minutes and a tick into the third quarter. In meeting number 31, EKU has won 23 games, Tigers 7, but TSU the last 2. When this series opened, in that 82 playoff game. And then once the Tigers went into the Ohio Valley Conference, EKU dominated the first 11, winning them all. Mosley standing on his goal line. Newberg to snap to him. Perfect, no pressure. High in the sky it goes, near midfield. Drawing rain, fair catch, 44-yard line. Curdles have good field position again as they get ready for their 8th possession when we return early in the third. 21-9 EKU. Curdle football from Learfield, IMG College.
Number 1 punter in the OVC, Mosley, had a 41-yard punt, Greg.
Here EKU in the fly sweep on 1st and 10 from their own 44. That doesn't work, no gain. I want to go back to Aaron Patrick, who had a 2nd sack of the night and moved a half sack beyond the number 4 all-time sack leader in EKU history. And that was Ernest Thompson. Next are a couple of pros. We'll get to that in a second. McKinney, man in his face, throws it at the feet, incomplete. Pressure was tremendous there, and that pass play just could not develop. And all of a sudden, after Khalil Jones's pressure, the Tigers have forced EKU into 3rd and 10. And Jim, if you're an EKU fan here and you see what's happening, EKU beginning to bog down against a porous defense, you cannot keep giving the Tigers chances here.
It's the pressure up the middle. It's getting to McKinney and causing him to throw errant passes.
They move up on the defensive front. There comes the flag. Should be a free play. Throw near side for the first down. They back it down to, well, it all depends on the spot. It does get to the 45. Caught by Keon Dixon. Another catch for him. Team leading 4th, and they'll move the chains.
That was just a little out pattern. They gave Dixon too much cushion on the sideline.
And this will be declined on the offside here. So Keon Dixon with his 15th catch of the year, coming off a 6-catch, 101-yard game. His season high for the Curdles, 8 catches against Cincinnati when he was at UConn. Eric Magwood back in at left tackle for the Curdles. He and Drew Hart have rotated tonight. And in slot position on the move, handoff to Booth, coming with the slot motion off left tackle for 2 on first down to the Tiger 43. And Terry Strotter, the weak side linebacker, with the tackle. It is 21-9 EKU, 9:40 in a moving third quarter clock. Talked about that Aaron Patrick move up the all-time career sacks. Next 2 are great pros, Chad Bratsky and David Wilkins, both with 27 sacks, tied for second. Patrick now about 4.5 away. It's Booth running laterally, now reversing course. They get him up around the head, and he loses yardage. It was Raymond Horton, the Daytona Beach, Florida 2-star recruit, who made the tackle. And EKU just has not been able to get the passing or running game going. And EKU just not able to get a hat on a hat. Ashkettle couldn't get the block to spring Booth there, 3rd and 9.
Right defense was called that time by Tennessee State, and Horton was right there.
Ball far hash. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Maybe changing the play as all the receivers of McKinney stand up and look to the near sidelines, where EKU has 2 coaches signaling in plays, 1 in a red hat, 1 in a yellow.
Flag was thrown.
A lot of penalties.
Offense number 71.
So Jackson Bardol's had a tough night. 2 false starts.
And I think
4 on the year.
I think both of them, Greg, have been just a little bit of a flinch on the football as he gets ready to snap.
Yeah, snap and fraction type of false starts. At EKU, across midfield now all 8 times they've had the ball, but only 3 touchdowns on the first 7 tries, and they're in 3rd and 14 here. They don't make it, they'll have to punt it, leading 21-9. Pressure from the edge. McKinney in the pocket, throws high, incomplete. Good coverage out there on the edge, right side, in front of the Tennessee State sidelines. Nick Harper has played a whale of a game at cornerback tonight. Keon Dixon, the intended receiver, and the longer the EKU offense stays stagnant, you give a team that averages 328 yards a game passing a chance to initially ignite. They haven't tonight at 125.
And remember, this is Rowland back there that's going to field the punt. He is second in the country in all-purpose yards. This guy can get up the field on a punt return.
They will not put it anywhere near him, or nor they should. Hangs up right to him. He asks for the fair catch and gets it at the 11. And then he put the foot back to the 10, and that's where they'll mark it. Timeout on the field, 8:04 in the third. TSU ball. The Tigers trail the Colonels by 12. Colonel football from Learfield IMG.
Place that I tore my ACL and that I could probably be stronger than where I was pre-surgery. That lit a fire under me.
On first down, Rosendahl handoff, Roberson, nothing. To Kendrick Roberson from his own 10, cannot get going tonight. It was Nakiah Smith. We raved on him in the first half. The 6'4", 235 redshirt sophomore. Played tight end, defensive end in high school, basketball at Science Hill in Tennessee. Second down and 10. Lamar Davis comes into the lineup. Defensive front, defensive tackle, Toledo transfer. Play action. Rosendahl at the goal line, hit as he throws, dropped by Rowland. A Colonel shot in front of him. Leaphart, to cause his concentration to go away, may have gotten a hand on it. Jim, what did you see?
Yeah, he dove in front of the receiver Rowland at the very last moment coming across here. We might just see on the replay a little bit of this. Yeah, he got his hand on it and slapped it down. Great job by Alante Leaphart.
Out of Mendocino Junior College 2 years ago, Santa Rosa last year, 9 junior college interceptions. Juck from linebacker got the pressure. 3rd and 10 from the 10. Do they gamble with the throw here? As we have played 5/8 of the game. Clock arrested at 7:26 of the third. 21-9 EKU going to throw. Pressure, throw long. It's picked off. The Colonels have come up with the center field interception. Malik Mays with the first career interception. 7:20 as Mays came up with it. We look at it, it looks good. They tried to throw to Newbold, and that was like a high sky punt there.
Way too much air under that pass. Rosendahl knew it as soon as he threw it. His head dropped, and then Newbold just could not get under it enough. He was going down the sideline, and he actually was open initially. Had found the cushion between the linebacker and the deep secondary, but that ball was better for Mays than it was for the receiver.
Worst field position for TSU, turns into the first turnover of the game. Best field position to start for EKU at the 39. They swing it out of the pass to the left side, and EKU loses 1 as the Colonels try to go perpendicular there to LJ Smith, the slot receiver, and it will be 2nd down and 10.
That was McCleskey out of the backfield, Greg. They tried to bleed him out, but they didn't account for one guy. The safety came up in coverage, and he had an open shot at McCleskey, and McCleskey tried to stretch it to the sideline.
-1 on that catch. 2nd and 11. Colonel offense stymied by a better defensive effort by the Tigers. Ground this time. Tough running for Jason Lewis, and he got the yard loss +3 back for a carry of 4, but just like that, this EKU team into 3rd down and long again. In the first half, EKU was 2 of 5. This half on 3rd down conversions, 1 of 3. Tigers tonight really struggling on 3rd downs, 1 of 10. 3rd down, EKU leading by 12, 6-10 in the 3rd from the 36 of the Tigers after the Mays interception. McKinney, good protection, throws it out on the right flat. They make a Tiger miss. They get the first down. It's McCleskey with the catch, and the Colonels move the chains out on the right edge, and they're in the hurry up as we go under 6 minutes in the 3rd quarter.
McCluskey just a little trail. He comes around the edge of the offensive line and gets into the flat, able to make his way upfield after reversing direction. That pass initially took him to the sideline, but he moved back to the middle of the field.
Down to the 24-yard line of the Tigers, trying to make something out of the Mays interception. 1st and 10 with a new set of downs, coming with a blitz. Throw it out on the edge, caught, I believe, McCluskey again. And he's strung out of bounds. No, it's Cabrera instead. 23, not 22. Alex Cabrera, Melbourne, Florida. He got it down to the 18, where Killings, the Navy transfer, sent him out of bounds. EKU picks up 6 on the first down play. McKinney now 10 of 19 through the air. Caleb Martin checks in at wide receiver. Redshirt freshman from Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Up the middle right side, and now off to the right. No gain on 2nd down and short for McCluskey. McCluskey at 118 yards. Still shy of that 200 by 25 yards. Make it 2,000.
Real quick, Greg, go back to the play before. McCluskey picked up the blitz, and that allowed the pass to get to the outside to Cabrera to set up 2nd and short. Now it's 3rd and short after McCluskey can't get the off-tackle play to work.
Short side of the field is the right side. Trips to the left. One receiver right. McCluskey in the block only this time. They throw. Hand jousting. Incomplete. 5-yard line. It was Caleb Martin, the Colonel, who shoved first. And the Tigers played lockdown defense there, led by Nick Harper, who we just can't rave enough about the Missouri State transfer, how well the son of an NFL player from the past has played. And now insurance field goal time for Sam Hayward, who earlier this week was named a Campbell Trophy semifinalist. This will be between 35 and 36 yards. Hayworth missed 2 last week. Set down, kick up, plenty of leg. What about the accuracy? Spot on. 24-9, EKU by 15 with 4:15 to go in the 3rd. In the OVC opener, Colonel football from Learfield, IMG College.
It can be more rewarding too. What would you like the power to do?
Leaping against TSU, half the distance to the goal line. The Colonels take the points off the board and get it at the 9 of TSU with a new set of downs. 1st and goal from the 9. And the Tigers have a player on the field. And let's see if they got the timeout in time. They did. They were playing with 10. If EKU could have gotten the snap off quick, they would have had a free play there. So again, to repeat, if you just joined us, as we had to come back early, we saw no flag, Jim, and then there was a long discussion by 4 officials, and what happened is EKU takes points off the board, but has a goal-to-go situation.
Yeah, the officials gathered in the middle of the field after the field goal went through. It was marked good by the back officials. Then they gathered, and as they gathered, Greg, one of the officials took the flag out and dropped it right in the middle of the group. And as they discussed whether leaping had taken place, they sit there and talked about it for a long time, finally decided that it had. You're not allowed to use a teammate or an opponent to leap up into the air and try to gain an advantage, and that's what they called, and they had to talk about it first.
And the Tigers hungry there because they lead the nation in blocks. They have blocked 4 PATs, blocked 3 the other day, and their star at 6'6" in doing that is Malik Abdul-Haq. They did not get a number on who was the illegal leaper. So goal to go EKU. Stay a 12-point game, but the Colonels have the football against the Big Blue from the right hash. McCluskey in at running back. H-back to the right. McCluskey fakes right, goes left, finds a hole. The 5, the 3, the end zone. Touchdown, Darryl McCluskey. The leaping cost probably 4 points to the Tigers. And Darryl McCluskey is having a game like Kentel Williams of Austin Peay did earlier today in the upset of JSU. A 9-yard touchdown run by Darryl McCluskey. And that is career touchdown run number 16 McCleskey to 127 yards, and now 16 away from 2,000 in his career.
Nice job of making sure that offensive line seals that side off.
The AT kick, good by Hayworth. Steady as she goes for Sam Hayworth. He's never missed a PAT. 28-9, home team. Late in the third, Colonel football from Learfield, IMG College.
From Navy Federal Credit Union.
Drive at the Tennessee State 39-yard line. Took them 7 plays and 3 minutes and 12 seconds. And they even put 3 points on the scoreboard, Greg, that they took back off because of a leaping penalty on Tennessee State on the field goal try. They got another shot at it, and inside the 10-yard line, Daryl McCleskey makes it into the end zone. Hayworth's extra point makes it 28-9 with 4:08 to go here in the third.
McCleskey follows a 40-yard run by Booth, a 6-yard run by Parker McKinney, the quarterback. And here is an onside kick and picked up in no man's land at about the 39-yard line. Jim, let me ask you about that. And I hate to second guess the coach here, but it's a question form. You're up 28-9. They've got a dangerous team. You think you see something on film that you can put them away, but you give them a short field because it doesn't work, and they have it at the 37-yard line.
I'm not going to detract from it. I think you've seen something on film you can take advantage of, or
Police set the game clock to 4 minutes, 6 seconds.
Or you think that your defense is playing so well that it doesn't really make a difference.
And guys, something to keep an eye on real quick. That whole last offensive series for Eastern Kentucky, Aaron Patrick was on the sideline, icing down both calves. He is not in. He's walking on the sideline right now. But you know, he's a gamer and wants to get back out there.
Moved up to number 4 all-time in quarterback sacks at EKU football history on a very warm night. 28-9 EKU late in the third. Right up the middle. Good running room for Seth Rowland. He got 10, and he'll move the chains to the 47-yard line where Corey Glass tripped him. 10th possession of the night for the Tigers, Jim.
Was able to just get a hand on the ankle and trip him up, or else he may have gone about 20 more down the middle of the field.
And they're in the hurry-up. Wide receiver screen. One curl got blocked out, gets back up, forces the play to the sidelines. A first down play. They got it to the 49-yard line to Roland Bascom. Forced Chris Rowland out after his older brother Seth Rowland ran for a first down. And the Tigers are in the hurry-up. They can strike quick. They came from behind against Arkansas Pine Bluff to tie the game at 31 last week, and then gave up a 7-play drive and lost it on the last play of the game. They're 1-3 on the year. Seth Rowland breaks tackles, breaks another. He's going inside the 30. EKU, a trio of blockers, finally bring him down, but coming back to bite the Colonels as they take it to the 25, where Sales brought him down. Was good field position on the semi-onside kick by EKU. It's Rowland again, breaking tackles, high-stepping inside the 10 to the 9. A pickup of 16 more. And Brenton Irvin made the tackle, and this EKU defense caught off guard. The Tigers are not taking much time to drive and get back in this one. Goal to go. It's Rowland again, this time tougher sledding to the 8. He may lean forward to the 7, pick up a 1 or 2. Dylan Denault wrapped him around the waist, the defensive tackle.
And it's the same play every time, Greg. They're sealing to the outside, moving everything to the left side of the field, and that allows the runner to get around the edge and go right down the middle.
They move from their 37 quickly down to the Colonel 8. Second and goal from there. 28-9 EKU, 2:15 in the third quarter. Roberson in. Rowland gets a breather after bringing him downfield. Seth Rowland. It's Roberson cutting right, breaking a tackle. Touchdown as he dives in. EKU goes for a trick kickoff and pays the price in a big way, Jim. And it did not take long for Roberson to score after his running mate set it up in Seth Rowland. And this game turns back to a 2-possession game, 28-15, like that. And they will go for the PAT to make it a 12-point game.
You got one-on-one coverage. A linebacker comes up, has a shot at Roberson, but if he doesn't make the tackle, then he's wide open into the secondary. The tackle's not made. Touchdown.
6 plays in 2 minutes, 9 seconds, covered 63 yards. EKU defense went to sleep, and the TSU offense awoke. And with 1:59 to go with a PAT, back to a 12-point game, 28-16. And I think there's a lot of talk now, Jim, to the point I made about the kind of kickoff that EKU used.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I didn't fault him at the time because the defense had played so well, but then you get a change in the tempo. The change in the tempo precipitates that drive down the field. They went hurry up. Colonels weren't ready for it. It looked like they were asleep on defense.
First touchdown of the night for the Tigers, who had hit 3 field goals. 6 plays, 63 yards, took only 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Again, EKU on that series playing without their star defender, the defensive end Aaron Patrick, with 2 sacks and a tackle for a loss. 3 of those tonight, icing both calves. And after EKU, would you call that an onside kick or just a short kick? And you know they saw something on film where they thought they could get to the football. They did not. They gave them a short field, and they quickly moved downfield and made it a game again with 1:59 to go in the third.
And again, the defense have been playing well. But, Greg, I go to this on that drive. 6 plays, all 6 running plays in the hurry-up offense. They did not throw the ball one time in that entire drive.
They are known as a passing team. Now they pooch kick it. EKU ranges over, and it goes out of bounds. See where they mark it, where it crossed the line. Here comes the flag. Field judge working with the other judge here on the EKU sideline.
Don't they get it at the 35 no matter what?
Well, it didn't even get to the 35, Jim, I don't think.
He's marking it at the 33.
EKU may take it again here. Mark Elder telling the referee David Seward what to do. 28-16 EKU. 16 minutes, 59 seconds left. We're late in the third at Roy Kidd Stadium.
I think Seward's going to give us an explanation.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team, 5 yards from the spot where the kick went out of bounds. First down.
There you go. So it goes out, and then 5 more. So good field position for EKU.
Around the 38.
Again, after the interception by Malik Mays, EKU settled for a field goal to go up 15. Then it was taken off the board with the leaping penalty. And McCleskey scored from 9 yards out to make it a 28-9 game. But the Tigers quickly downfield, all rushes. And from the 38, on their 10th possession, here comes the home team, wearing the gray and maroon tonight. In motion, fly sweep. Ross to the 41 for 3. Davion Ross, true freshman, Perry, Georgia.
They moved Gross from one side to the other on wide. He was way over to the left, moved him to the wide side on the right side, and then sent the streaking Ross in motion, gave him the jet sweep. I think he was lucky to get upfield there. He cut it up at the hash.
Jason Lewis, the running back. We haven't seen much of Booth this half. McCleskey has had a great 100-yard-plus game again. McKinney to throw, right edge, caught Bierman. Bierman slants in between the 2 hashes with a flag late, may have been a late hit on the quarterback.
Defense, number 91. 15-yard penalty tacked on to the end of the run. First down.
Raymond Horton had his hands up like, I'm guilty. 14-yard catch plus, and the Tigers hurt themselves. That's a 29-yard penalty when you add in the catch to go along with it.
And Horton knew it immediately. You said, I'm guilty. I think he was trying to say, I didn't do it, but it was too late. And it was very, very late, too. It was way after the pass had left McKinney's hands.
It's like, Mom, when you got your hand as a kid in the cookie jar. You get caught, you're caught. Booth is now in at running back. Hand off to Booth. Changes directions to make something out of nothing. Still goes. 6 Tigers. 8 Tigers in. Finally stop him at the 24. The whistles sound. Dante Ferguson, the first for the tackle party. Booth was caught behind the line right cut it quickly left. And if you notice, the EKU running backs tonight have changed directions a lot.
Big block that time by Colin Sanchez, the tight end, who had followed Booth into the hole and then blocked the seal so he could get back up the middle of the field.
Colin Sanchez, sophomore, redshirt out of Lexington, Alabama. Half minute left, third, 28-16 EKU in the OVC opener, 2nd and 4. Booth got a hole left side to the edge at the 20, at the 15. They grab his jersey. He says, come along for the ride, down to the 8-yard line. They pick up a 16 more before Josh Green could bring him down to the fake green field turf.
He started right again, Greg, then went left, and he gets another huge block from Sanchez, the tight end.
2 100-yard rushers for EKU. Last time that happened, Jared McClain, the quarterback, and Deshaun Mobley, the running back, in 2014. We're at the end of the third. 28-16 EKU, and threatening. Fourth quarter coming. Colonel Football from Learfield IMG College.
Repeat this level. Any questions?
First and goal from the 8, moving left to right for McKinney. Booth is the running back. Wing left. Ball start Kirtles. Second false start of the season on Chris Anthony, the right guard from Massillon, Ohio. That's a football town.
You think?
And that takes you out of goal to go inside the 10. Your goal to go at the 13. You get a field goal here. It's a 15-point game again. You'd love 6 if you're the home team. Tigers try to batten the defensive hatches down. Hand off, Booth cuts right, breaks a tackle. Alonzo Booth pulls his way to the end zone. Another cutback gives the Colonels 6 more. And this offense behind Booth and McCleskey on the line, that one goes for 13 yards. At Eastern Kentucky gets Alonzo Booth to the end zone for the 7th time this year. He had 3 against Valparaiso, 1 against Indiana State, and last week against Presbyterian. And he scored 2 more times tonight. Between McCleskey and Booth, 240 yards. Double-barreled running back behind an offensive line who's played well tonight for offensive line coach Danny Hope. PAT good, and the Colonels 37-16 lead. Colonel Football from Learfield IMG College.
Any questions?
Yard run by Alonzo Booth, his 7th of the season, makes it 35-16 after the Hayworth extra point. Colonels are nearing what Tennessee State allows, 37.8 points per game. They're at 35 now.
Another sky kick. This one popped up, fair caught, 28-yard line. Now that one was deeper. That was not designed to be recovered. DeMarco Corbin, you're not going to give a guy in Roland, who is one of the top returners in the nation, at a 96-yarder against Jackson State, a chance. Hand it back to your defense, who gave up only its first touchdown of the night moments ago, and then EKU responded. And it's been 5 years since the Colonels had 2 runners over 100 yards. Last time it was Jared McClain, the quarterback, and Deshaun Mobley against this same team they're playing tonight, Tennessee State. 35-16 EKU.
It's interesting you mentioned not kicking to Roland or Newbold, and then you do the sky kick. Colonels came in 17th in the country in kick return defense.
From their own 28. Back to pass, Rosendahl being chased towards the boundary and throws it away at the feet of Roland. As Eastern Kentucky's Lamar Davis, the former Rocket of Toledo, out of Garfield Heights, Ohio, the graduate student, Nakiah Smith as well. Eastern ramping up the pressure. They've held this passing offense that's 8th in the country down to only 128 yards tonight. Came in averaging 328. Still got a quarter to do something about. A low yardage total through the air and a 19-point deficit. Ground this time, fake. Throw it out on the edge, look for a blocker, get it, short of the first down, but enough to get close to the sticks. Flag comes down at the very end of the play. Rowland made the catch. Rod Reed asking the official why the flag was dropped.
They're going to get a hold on Newbold, I think.
Been a tough night for Rod Reed in the Big Blue. Kentucky State upset Jackson State tonight, 33-25 in the Circle City Classic in Indianapolis.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number one, his first. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Be third down.
So, 2 personal fouls on sportsmanlike conduct against the Tigers, plus a leaping penalty. They've gone back to their old problems of penalties. They only had 3 yards on 1 infraction in the first half. And I want to go back to KSU. It's the first time Kentucky State has defeated a Division I school twice in one season. And they will play Morehouse next week. But big one for Kentucky State.
Absolutely. That's a huge upset.
A team that Jackson State beat is Tennessee State, 49-44. Now it's 3rd and 17 after the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
And I said it was going to be a hold. It wasn't a hold. He just kept driving out of bounds after the play.
Here's Rosendahl trying to get the yards back, and he finds a player sitting in a pocket between Colonels, and a big first down. They needed 17. They get 18. And they'll move the chains as Malik Abdul-Haq made the catch. No, instead, it's Al-Malik Moore with the catch. They call him Blue Hands, and he made it there. False start on TSU after they get the first down on a 3rd and 17. The false start against Will James, the left tackle from Itawamba Community College.
And he's not had a good night. Aaron Patrick was lighting him up at the beginning of the second half. Got around him on almost every play, and then he gets the false start here.
First down and 15 for TSU. 13:50 to go. They're down 19. Throw it out on the edge right. Newbold caught it, stayed on his feet as he tried to 360 turn away from Sumter. You get about 3 more yards. Picked up 5 of the first down throw. And tonight, Rosendahl came in a 63% passer, only 12 of 27 for 160 yards. He entered 13th in the country at over 300 a ball game. There in the quick hurry up, dropped. He felt the pressure to Newbold on a closing curdle. And it'll be 3rd down and 5. Secondary has played really well tonight.
Yeah, Josh Hayes over there for EKU was closing fast, but I think Newbold got a little case of looking upfield before he secured the football. He wanted to spin and get down the sideline.
They're 2 of 11 on 3rd down conversions. 3rd and 5 here. Are they in 4th down territory at their own 45? And we've got another false start. The head linesman.
72.
It's Will James again. Back-to-back false starts. He's doing something that the head linesman sees. And Jeff Estes dropped his flag. Kabosh Richards checks into the defensive lineup. Colonels actually make 2 changes up front. Floyd and Denault leave. Eastern fans a wide 1 down lineman defense on the field. 3rd and 10. They converted on 3rd and 17 for 18 yards. They're down 19. Here's the throw down the sidelines. Caught. A big-time catch by Rowland, even though 2 Colonels were there, but a flag is down. Let's see if the Colonels made a late hit. They did.
Roughing the passer. Defense, number 55. 15-yard penalty to the end of the run. First down.
So Taquan Evans with the roughing the passer, his second penalty. He was offsides once, and you add on the big catch by Rowland, and they're going to take it into the red zone down to the Colonel 15, and this game is far from over yet. Again, they've converted on 3rd and 17 and 3rd and 10 in this drive. They had only converted once all night before this drive on 3rd down.
And you talked about the catch by Newbold, but how about the placement of the football by Rosendahl? He threaded the needle right there. Line to Newbold.
What's the penalty? Rosendahl, pressure on him, throws incomplete. right between the two receivers. They flooded the near side, Newbold, and one other receiver here on the near side, and it wasn't close to either one of them. The other one was Al-Malik Moore out of Miami Northwestern. It'll be 2nd and 10 Tigers at the Colonel 15. 35-16 EKU, long way to go. 12:58 in the fourth. Tigers have been to the red zone tonight and had to kick 3 field goals. They had 1 rushing touchdown. They're 1 of 4 on touchdowns in the red zone.
That last pass may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage, Greg.
Tight end Cabot in motion left to right. Double tight to the left. Now tight end each way. Pressure. Oh, they got in the face mask of McCurnell. No flag down. A broken tackle to the 6. And the ball's fumbled. Picked up by a Colonel. Down the sidelines. Over the 20. Over the 30. Over the 50. Over the 40. Running out of steam because Speedy Rowland's after him. It's Malik Mays who's already had an interception. Give him a hug on the sidelines. Malik Mays with a fumble recovery from Seth Rowland as we look at it on replay.
Little pass out of the backfield, a bleeder, and he's hit from behind by Corey Glass and then picked up by Mays.
Are you sure it's not Bascom? Was it Glass?
I believe it was Glass that came from behind and hit Rowland from the blind side. Rowland never saw him coming. I'm gonna stick with my first instinct here, Greg.
We'll see what the official stats put on it. Bascom and Glass, both the guys that have the locks flowing outside their helmets. They've been active tonight. EKU takes over 31 of the Tigers. Stretch play to the right. This running game with McCleskey will lose a yard. They're still administering the official indication. It was Glass, and you're right. Teray Jones made the tackle. Fumble forced by Glass. On the run by, they say McCauley. I don't know that that's right. McCauley, we were told, would not play tonight.
No, it was Rowland. It was 22.
Yeah. Now, 2nd down at 11. Caught, dropped. As McKinney's pass right side along the sidelines had an open receiver out of the backfield of McCleskey, and Parker a little bit behind McCleskey on that one, or it could have been 6. Harper tracking, and it's 3rd and 11 for EKU, and the clock isn't moving very much. 35-16 EKU early in the fourth.
Harper got his feet tangled up, and that allowed McCleskey to get outside of him toward the sideline, wide open.
Began this drive at the 31 of the Tigers. Now they're 3rd and 11 at the 32. EKU leading 35-16, 11th possession of the night, and they have been on the plus side of the 50 every possession. Scored 5 touchdowns. Handoff McCleskey, looks for a block, flag down. So after a penalty free for the most part first half, the flags have flown from David Seward's crew
Offense number 71.
repeatedly tonight, and that time it is thrown against Jackson Bardal, who has had a penalty fest tonight. 2 false starts and a hold for the center, making his 15th start in a row.
Now they pulled him. He was the pulling offensive lineman coming out to the right side and getting in front of McCleskey to use that block, and he took 2 guys out. Second one, they call the hold on.
At halftime, we had 18 yards in penalties. We now, between the two teams, have 132 yards in penalties. 77 against TSU on 9 infractions, 6 infractions, 55 EKU. 3rd and 21 for the Colonels. McKinney flush for the pocket, throws it short, caught by McCleskey. Shirt tackle missed, stays on his feet, gets some of the yardage back, and got it down to the 32, and that'll make it 4th down at 11. Justin Culpepper made sure that Darryl McCleskey, who has been busy tonight on the ground with 126 yards at his 4th catch to Ty Dixon for team leadership there. And now what does EKU do on 4th down at 11 from the 32? A little out of range for Sam Hayworth here, Jim.
Yeah, you're going to go for it. McCleskey makes it makeable, though. Just all effort on McCleskey, keeping his balance and keeping upfield.
McKinney, 12 of 23 passing tonight. Markello runs down the sideline, says hold up. I think he's going to call a timeout when the play clock gets to 2, 1. I think he may have taken the penalty on purpose to punt.
Poop.
Yeah. It's interesting. Mark Elder came running down the sidelines, said, hold up, don't snap the football, and they give a little room for the Pooch punter. Now let's see if they go to their normal punter, Phillip Richards, or bring in Dak Allen. It'll be Richards. So an interesting decision there. That football, Jim, was at the 32-yard line, 4th and 11. And they're going to play field position, turn it over the defense, leading 35-16. Roland wants the football. Another whistle sounds. Another flag.
Boy, you got the bounce you wanted there.
False start. Kicking team number 32. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Ball start on DJ Mitchell, redshirt freshman from Knoxville Catholic High School, playing on special teams. Gives Richards a little more room. Tigers say, forget that noise, we don't want it.
See, and the bad thing is Richards got the bounce he wanted. It bounced back after hitting it around the 5-yard line. They would have really been pinned back that time if Richards gets that punt. We'll see what he does here.
Tigers split 10 on the line wide. Let's see if they come after Richards. The Australian gets the snap high, sends it towards the near corner, looks good, hits, and nobody down there at all for the Curdles. The gunner down the right side got pushed out of the way. It hit at the 6 and just went straight into the end zone, angling right. Time out of the field, 10:27 to go, and another chance for the Tigers to make a miraculous comeback when we come back. Curdle football from Learfield IMG College.
He's also the pregame.
On 1st and 10, pressured out of the pocket, Rosendahl throws short, 2nd and 10 from the 20. EKU takes a 5-yard penalty, punched the football, made it 3rd down and 16 at the 37. They only got a plus 11 on the net after the ball went into the end zone for a touchback.
That first down play, Roberson bled out of the backfield, Greg, and was wide open. Rosendahl not looking to that side of the field, didn't see him.
Hadn't been a good night for Rosendahl in the passing game. They've been red hot all year. Here is Roland catching it, short of what is needed to move the chains. Got a total of 6. It'll be 3rd and 4. Corey Glass makes the tackle.
Good news for EKU Colonel fans. Aaron Patrick back in, seeing his first action since kind of cramping up on the sideline for EKU.
10 minutes to go. 35-16 EKU. 3rd down, doesn't make it. Roberson. Now, what does Rod Reed do with his team down 19? Do you give EKU another chance short field, or do you force him to punt to Quan Evans, who had that costly roughing the passer before the fumble recovery and long return by Malik Mays on the one caused by Corey Glass? By the way, back to Corey Glass, as they will punt. The 3rd caused fumble by Glass in his career, first since 2017. when he had ones against Murray and Tennessee Martin. Here's Mosley to punt. He's been tremendous all night long. This one hangs up high. Gross lets it hit. Extra bounce, and it's rolling. Hit it to 20 and dies at the 12. But when you're up 19 with 9:09 to go, do not risk a muff. And Gross didn't. EKU football when we come back. 35-16. Home team. Curdle football from Learfield IMG.
Fans from the 25 to the final quarter, stay refreshed with ice cold Coca-Cola as you cheer on the Colonels. Let's head to the concession stand and grab the perfect cheering section refreshment. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling. EKU Athletics thanks Apollo Pizza for sponsoring the official tailgate lot this season. Apollo has been voted the best pizza in Madison County the last 5 years. The tradition continues in downtown Richmond, or visit the Apollo Pizza locations in Berea, Lexington, and the Middlesex locations serving northern Madison County. Apollo Pizza is the official partner of EKU Athletics.
First and 10, EKU on 12-yard line. Trying to run clock, leading 35-16. It's McCleskey. As we check that offensive line, they stay with Bardall at center. Justin Brown made the tackle. Pick up a 3 by McCleskey. Graham Ashkettle stays in at right tackle. Grant Polk comes in at right guard. They've used Magwood, Polk, Anthony, and Hart in those positions. I don't know if we've seen Living Good tonight. Got his first action the other day, the Marshall transfer after coming off an injury. 35-16 EKU. Second and 7, McCleskey. McCleskey running big. McCleskey to the 30. Sidesteps the tackler 40, 50, cut back 40. He's to the 35 to the 30. The Tigers are chasing and finally get him as Daryl McCleskey is down at the 17. And on a run, he goes over 2,000 yards in his career. Daryl McCleskey with a long run to break the 2,000-yard mark. And he's the 16th player in Eastern Kentucky football history to do it. And he did it on a 67-yarder.
And breaking a mark is very appropriate because he broke tackles the whole way down the field on that run. Beautiful run by McCleskey.
68 officially. And McCleskey at 197 yards. Will he be the next back to go over 200 yards in a game for the Colonels? 35-16 EKU. The running game has been tremendous. Booth spells him. Handoff Booth. They got him behind the line, but he surges forward from the 17 down to the 13. Jeremiah Kane playing after missing the first 4 games due to a lower body injury. The rushing game tonight, the highest of the year at 360. Last time they went over 400 yards as a team, 404 against Morehead State last season.
How about Booth being able to get into the red zone? He stopped in the backfield by Kane that time, but he keeps running, keeps stretching out, then leans forward at the end, picks up 4 yards.
That, by the way, was not the long of McCleskey's career, or was it? We'll check that. It's Booth again, runs into a pile of Tigers and lost 2 there from the 13 back to the 15. They're just eating clock now with 6:37 to go. And I want to go back to the McCleskey run. It is not his career long. Didn't think it was. He had a 72-yarder last year against Morehead State. Daryl's had a 43-yarder, a 68-yarder, a 34-yard run, and a 9-yard touchdown run tonight. 3rd and 8. As Booth slipped through the crack on the first down play, lost 2 there. Eastern just sitting back, letting the play clock tick. Game clock nearing 6 minutes. It hit 6 minutes. Play clock at 5. McKinney on 3rd down and 8. Throws, caught by Cabrera. Cabrera makes a man miss, or is it McCleskey? It's Daryl instead. On a night for Daryl McCleskey. His older brother played at Indiana State. 15 carries, 197 yards, 5 catches tonight by McCleskey. No, make it 4 catches for 31 yards. So McCleskey over 200 yards of offense between receiving and passing.
Outshining an all-purpose yards guy on the other side of the field.
In Rowland, who came in with all the glitzy stats. But the senior from Dayton has done the damage. 1st and goal from the 5 to the right side. He breaks tackles. He scores again. Daryl McCleskey with a touchdown, turning the lights out on the Tigers tonight. 41-16 EKU. Second touchdown run by McCleskey to join Booth. And this offensive line, much maligned for the quarterback sacks that they have given up throughout the year, but not all on them. With McKinney, a mobile quarterback, the line has done well, and the Colonels rolling it up as McCleskey goes to 202 yards and 2 touchdowns. 41-16 EKU. Make it 42-16. For Rod Reed, his team went through a 1-3 non-conference. And you kind of look at it, Jim, and you think they played it this way. we've got a veteran team on offense. We're going to get better on defense. And let's get a new start to the season. This will really set him back. And for fourth-year head coach Mark Elder, who admittedly has struggled at times to get to 500 in this proud program, and he's still not there, but he's headed that way. He'll be 17-21 with this Hall of Fame weekend. With this the weekend where the Matter of Pride wall, the Players Wall, with all the names of the great players. Second most FCS playoffs behind Montana. A lot of them back for the ceremony earlier today. I think for Mark Elder, this is a big win. In an OVC now, with Austin Peay waxing the perennial champs over the last 5 years in Jacksonville State, we've got an interesting conference season ahead of us.
Yeah, I think the conference is a little more open than it has been in quite some time. And I think that this is a momentum game for the Eastern Kentucky University Colonels. The way they performed in this game, their passing defense against two passing stars of the conference, this is a big-time momentum thing for them in the first conference game of the year.
This guy kicked ticket at the 14-yard line. The returner, Roberson, to the 27. EKU has had the football 12 times tonight. Every time they have gone to the plus side of the field. On top of that, of those 12 times, they've scored touchdowns 6 times, lead 42-16. Matthew Jackson made the tackle on special teams. Meanwhile, on the previous 12 punts, 5 punts, 1 touchdown, 3 field goals for TSU. Only across midfield 5 times, scored 4 of the times, but left points off the board in the first half. Total yards for EKU have piled up to 494. Last time they went over 500 yards, they had 564 against Morehead State last year. 5:05 to go in the game, 42-16 EKU. Rosendahl to pass, incomplete. That ball may have been touched by a Colonel lineman charging towards Rosendahl. Rosendahl came in 63% passing, 302 yards a game, 24th best efficiency passer in the country, 13th yards per game tonight, the passing game, 15 of 33, picked once, just 211 yards, sacked twice.
It was actually tipped by Brenton Irvin toward the end of the pass play. He was down playing center field, got his hand on the football, knocked it over everyone.
Rosendahl sends Roland into the slot left in motion, looks away from that, throws, tipped, and almost picked off by Ben Baskin, who cut through that avenue. He saw it coming, and EKU's defense salivating right now for one more 42-16 leader. The intended receiver was Al-Malik Moore, and it's 3rd down and 10.
He had set up in the slot. They just wanted a little 3-yard stop pattern, and Moore just turned around, waited for the pass. Bascom read it, stepped right in front of him, almost had the INT, and that would have been pick 6.
2 receivers each way, balanced formation, now in motion, slot left, rolling to the right. They've held down the star. In the pocket, they throw underneath. Depends on the surge whether they get the first down, and they do right to it. They threw out of the backfield to Kendrick Roberson, and he needed to get to the 37, and he did as the head linesman comes in and steps it right on the yard to gain. Corey Glass brought him down. That's the 3rd conversion they've had here late in this game, but still on 3rd downs tonight, just 4 of 14, and 3 of them have come late. At one time, they were 1 of 10. Rosendahl throws up to get it rolling. 2 Colonels there. He's had a police escort from the EKU defense all night. He picks up 8. Time ticking, 4:20 to go in the game.
Yeah, Greg, if you look at the secondary for EKU, they just umbrella. It's just a half circle around the backside. So TSU only has underneath. It's all out patterns and slants underneath.
Malik Moore comes out of the ball game. He's had the 2 turnovers tonight. Throw underneath to the tight end, caught and down to the 47-yard line as they threw underneath. And it was DeMarco Corbin. Oh, it's 27, not 87. DeMarco Corbin, the running back at Pima Community College, after playing at Illinois State for a pair of years, won a redshirt year. They moved the chains across midfield for the 6th time in 13 possessions. 3:44 to go. 2 timeouts left for the Tigers, but they're in a deep hole down by a deep deficit of 26. Throwing down an unmanned mark and a foot tap caught at the 23, out of bounds by Dayron Johnson, the freshman from Springfield, Tennessee.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. He did a little out pattern, but what he did, he found the cushion between the up man and the back guy. Josh Hayes, the back guy, late coming over and recognizing that it was going to be an out pattern.
Tigers trying to make a late rally, but there's so much in a hole. 42-16, 3:15 to go. Trips left, one right, one running back in to block. Good protection. Now it breaks down as they fought off the block of Will James and got the sack at Eastern Kentucky. They've already seen Aaron Patrick come through and go to number 4 all-time in quarterback sacks. That one will be credited the first second of the year to Taquan Evans. He's had 7.5 in his career, redshirt senior. A loss of 4 on the play. Second down at 14 for the Tigers from the 28. Throw right side outside the hash. Caught at the 18-yard line. Pick up a 10 to Al-Malik Moore. But time ticking. Josh Hayes covered. EKU playing prevent here, Jim. Just 3 down linemen now. And they're all standing up. Just one goes down on the left edge. Throw over the middle. Intercepted. 2 yards deep to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, up the sidelines. Dawson Fitzpatrick had to move over from safety to linebacker, and a flag at the end of the play. EKU, who had made 9 turnovers in the last 2 games against TSU, has not made one tonight. They hand the ball to Mark Elder as they come to the sidelines. And a flag to check at the end on Dawson Fitzpatrick's first career interception.
This may have been a hit out of bounds after Fitzpatrick got out at the end of the play. Here's the call.
During the return, illegal block below the waist.
Ooh.
On the intercepting team, number 3.
Corey
Half the
Glass.
distance to the goal, first down.
Boy, I tell you what, after a penalty-free, for the most part, first half, the flags have flown all over the field from this OVC officiating crew in half 2. You see them, you got to call them. 2:11 to go, and EKU is +3 in turnover margin. And that is the first time this year that they have gone beyond +1 in turnover margin. That was against Louisville. And it's the most turnovers, Jim, that they have forced since they beat Southeast Missouri and forced 5 last year.
Sorry, Greg. And what I saw just popped up on the replay. Fitzpatrick tripped at the end when he went out of bounds, and I thought he had been pushed, but he had just tripped.
First and 10 Curdles after the 3rd turnover. Second interception, this by Fitzpatrick after Mays had forced 2. And they operate from their own 14-yard line. Here comes a penalty flag from David Seward at the end of the play. Jason Lewis, now the running back. So Eastern Kentucky.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 91, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Raymond Horton with 2 personal fouls in the second half. So we've already told you that Daryl McCluskey on that last run before his touchdown run, 68 yards, went over 2,000 yards, 16th player in Colonel football history to do it. Connor Blount now in at quarterback. The last Colonel to do it, to go over 2,000, was Matt Denham, who ended at 3,235 yards. By the way, Denham, according to our research, the last Colonel to rush for 200 yards in a game, 216 against Eastern Illinois. Connor Blount, who lost the starting job, the Oregon State transfer, on a slant, caught. And up to the 46-yard line as they threw it to Caleb Martin. And Martin makes his first catch as a Colonel. He's from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, at EKU with 1:33 to go and a moving clock, leading 42-16.
That was a nice pattern. They just run a little slant from the outside guy, the wideout on the left side. He's the only one over there, and it's Martin, and he runs the little slant to the middle of the field. Great pass by Blount to get it to him.
We've had Wes Chandler helping us with research tonight. He's been busy. Colonels have 202 yards by McCluskey, goes over 2,000, 115 by Booth tonight. They both scored 2 touchdowns. Handoff running back Lewis, and Jason Lewis takes it across midfield on 1st and 10 from the 47 of the opposition's 47. 13 possessions, 13 times across the midfield stripe. Tonight's Co-Meyer players of the game are the running backs, Alonzo Booth and Daryl McCluskey. Fuel up with a quick stop to Meyer for all of your tailgating needs. Christian Benson in at tight end for the Colonels. Benson, the FIU transfer, played one game last year there. Tell you what, McCluskey, Booth, and McKinney ought to go by the offensive line milkshakes after this one. Victory milkshakes in order for the home team. 42-16, maybe the last play of the game. Swinging right, Jason Lewis for another first down, and that should do it. It was Ellis Kane that carried it rather than Lewis. Rod Reed and Mark Elder will meet. Mark Elder gets his first victory of his career against TSU. Rod Reed drops to 3-5. For analyst Jim Tyree and field reporter Wes Chandler, I'm Greg Stottlemyre from here in Richmond, Kentucky. When the final score is Eastern Kentucky 42, Tennessee State 16. Stay with us. The Kentucky Bank postgame show is next. This is Colonel Football from Learfield IMG College. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.